to Questline in our Tuesday tabletop time slot, where today we will be playing a homebrew D&D 5e adventure. I want to start by acknowledging that we are here in North Vancouver on the traditional territory of the Squamish Nation, and the privilege that it is to work, play, and create on these beautiful lands. We encourage you at home, find out what traditional territory you're in, where you're watching from, post it in Twitch on our chat today, or if you're watching on YouTube in the comments below, someone from the Filthy Lot will probably reply to you. We love to hear your comments, feedback, thoughts about the game, anything out there in the world. Find out more, post, chat, get involved. Today, I introduce you to my players, because we are back in the homebrew world of Altero, in Shadows of Blood, on a mission to save the country, the nation of Adarjan. Who's playing today?
Hi, I'm Cheyenne. I'm playing Smahls. You can call her Big E. She's a 6'1", half-elf druid who just is super happy to be here.
Yeah. And I'm Trevor Gemma. I am playing Emissary, who is an 8-foot-tall rock man, Earth Genasi homebrew, wild magic sorcerer. He's got a pet griffin, yet unnamed. It's not Bruce yet. Matt says nothing.
I'm Tim. I'm playing Storber, the artificer artillerist. He's just regular height guy, I guess. I don't really think about that. He's got a big magic gun and a little robot that's always up to no good, named Carcoon, who's also a little bit of our mascot at the moment.
Yeah.
I am Matt. I play Sir Tibbles, and I am a homebrew species called the Sura, and I'm a little mouse guy, and I am quite tall and muscular for my species, at 2.5 feet tall with a strength of 0. And I am a fighter.
The team. Does the team remember a little bit about where you are and the information that you've gathered so far from your adventure through the Summer of Sorrow, and that's led you to the Castle Lendar?
Well, I remember last night we put on a really good show.
Yeah.
On a really good show in the pub. Magic. There was just love in the air.
And you followed up with a substandard show in the bedroom.
Listen,
Yeah.
I had a lot to drink.
Yeah, that's fair. Not everybody has that magic, you know.
Can't always be fireworks.
Yeah.
How do you top the show? You know?
I can't.
Yeah.
Follow denouement.
Expectations were too high. Yeah. That's fair.
But what do you remember about the information that you got, along with your beautiful new attire, to attend the vampire ball?
Well, we have a sort of optional mission, depending on how we want to approach it, of attaining locks of hair from the 2 Countesses of Lendar for Beak, who is this really creepy, weird,
Favors
magical...
for favors.
Favors for favors. We still don't even really know what Beak is. Species or class, yeah. But, seems to be powerful and definitely scrying on us, knows a lot of information. Yeah,
definitely. We got a letter from our contact in the secret campaign that we are running in Lendar. With our
You mean
contact.
you're not just the Kirkoons buffoons, or
Yeah,
what are you calling
it's
yourself?
just a guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how tonight goes. The party might need a little pick-me-up. But we got a letter from our friend Taryn. Well, not friend, but a contact that was very esoteric, and also giving us instructions for tonight's party to make sure these letter pieces meet the hands of Wenzel Roten, who we have 0 information on.
Yeah, we got nothing.
You don't have a ton of information, but you are traveling by horse carriage towards the castle gates, where you have arrived at the castle.
We already got there.
Yeah, now I'm setting the scene.
I didn't even get to say what happened to Tibbles.
Oh, okay. What happened to Tibbles?
Someone called out his name and then you cut us off.
That's right.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the
We were
Tibbles.
getting there. So we were getting to,
Well, we already went up to the desk and our name was on a list and we were given golden tickets, which seemed weird because
We're
we
very
thought
excited.
we should. Matt was like, "Do we give these back to you?" Which I was like, "Yeah." But there's so that we can get an actual audience with the countesses, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you got to, also they just like to give out fun things. There's barriers to get through to the different levels of access to this ball. And you very quickly get the impression, seeing all of the other guests roll up, that this is a huge event. And there are people in dress from other nations, which you can recognize being from another nation not too far away from here. But you recognize traditional land from your homeland. So there are clearly people from all over who've come to attend this event. And from the way that they are gathering in little groups and like looking at each other and gossiping, just to be seen here is an event. So it's very prestigious. But you can tell that there are the air of some of the guests who walk straight past those gawking partygoers who can't help but admire the Castle Lendar as the mists of night settle in and bats take off from around the castle and the countryside. You hear the little flap of their wings as they cross across the 2 moons of Lendar as you're walking up into the castle proper.
This is really nice.
We're gonna pull it out.
Oh!
Oh, that's so cool.
That's sick.
It's so amazing! And we'll leave you
Very
at
open
the
concept.
foyer area and just start you as you stepped in. But you
Yeah.
see all the others, there's other party guests. These don't just represent,
Is Gordy coming in with me? Because that's awesome.
he's also, yeah.
Didn't he
Percoon,
have
though,
his
I'm
own
gonna,
little
I'm gonna
bow
put
tie?
away.
He's in the
Percoon is,
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if they'd actually let him into the place or if it was just like you put a nice finery on your horse, but then they still go to the stable.
you're welcome.
Tibbles is not going to question it.
Okay, no one stops him.
Yeah.
I don't know, does the griffin told you to wait outside?
I've got him on my back until someone tells me not to.
He travels with you then.
Yeah.
There are lots of other interesting things to see as you head into the main foyer, which is obviously decorated for the party, mostly in silk that are reds and blues, and you get the 2 moons represented, and the guards who are wearing moons on their chests. And they are stationed at a couple places throughout the party, but they are also looking like they're here to have a good time. Everybody is, there's no air of concern or military. It really is a party event, and they're probably there more as bouncers than they are to make sure that things don't get out of hand. But you've heard someone shout your name across the sea of guests, many of them also looking up at the great chandeliers and all of the decorations and the white lilies everywhere. Mistberries, which are common in the cloud forests to the north, decorating spots of the garland. The voice of a woman. And she comes crashing over towards you through all of the guests. Clearly an air of entitlement where she is. And she approaches with a small entourage.
I got a 16 for initiative. To dance?
From last time, since we stopped early, do I get to keep my inspiration?
I'm gonna
'Cause
allow that.
I was saving it for that last half hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to allow it. So we had a couple of, we're live on Twitch, and anybody who redeems things, thank you so much. Sometimes you save the day. Sometimes you make it way harder for them, and I thank you for that too. And because we had a bit of technical difficulties last time, we're going to roll over any of our redemptions. So if you do have an inspiration left, hang on to it. You're going to need it. So this group approaches you, and from the sea you see a woman dressed in a very kind of admiral-inspired Met Gala outfit. So it's over the top, kind of navigation, sailory themed, and she clearly has a rapier at her side. And she introduces herself to you. So, Tibbles Tolmachev.
Hello. Is there anything I can do for you? It's a lovely outfit. Have we met?
Perhaps you don't recognize me.
I, unfortunately, do. Well, do I?
Little history.
Unlikely. 10.
She sees the look crossing your face, but a couple other people are starting to stare because they obviously know who she is. Some of them, they're looking over at your group, looking a bit like, you hear a couple people whisper, I think those are the bards from the town. And then as you look back at them, you look, those are some like high level people from the town, but they're probably maybe their first party at the Castle Lendar. They're gawking a little bit at the scene. And then next to her, this tall elven woman with long cascading blonde hair is talking to Tibbles, is another woman who is a little shorter than her, a little stockier, and clear fur along her face and pointy ears. And she has a bit of a wolf look to her. And she's very academic, but she's in a very slim fitted blue and green dress. She still looks party dressed, but scholarly, high collar.
Do we recognize this species? Or do I? I'm not going to speak for everyone.
Yeah, you can roll history.
I don't.
Nat 20.
Woo! First roll of the game.
Are you all rolling on whether or not you have seen someone of
Sure.
her?
I got a 9.
I got a 6.
Sorry, it was history?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I got a 5.
19.
Okay, so you both either met or somehow interacted, figured out for your own backstories with someone who was probably a werewolf, partially cured, and still exhibits a lot of those same characteristics.
Oh.
So she was a werewolf and then went through some sort of transition that cured her, and she maintains a lot of her wolf characteristics, and her fur is brushed and lustrous. But you can see that she was human beforehand.
Okay.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Dr. Tolmachev.
Doctor, I am Hilakar Brooklyn.
Hilka.
Hilakar
Hilka.
Brooklyn.
That is a beautiful name and an absolutely stunning gown.
And this is, of course, my illustrious companion, Clazest. She's waiting to see if you recognize her first name, Clazest Hannah, who is the leader of the Steel Roses. And we are traveling nobles who are duelists. And so, Sir Tibbles...
Have I heard of the Steel Roses?
Yes, you have.
Okay.
For sure. And you know that the Steel Roses are a bunch of nobles, usually women, who go around challenging, usually men, to duels of satisfaction, which is a duel that's unique to our world of Altero, where your second is a magic user. And that person can support your duel. Not offensive spells, but they can use defensive spells and buffs and that kind of thing.
Cool.
So they go around, they challenge people, they have a rotating leader. Clazest has actually been the leader for some time, which you get the impression from Hilakar as she is explaining this person. And then she looks over to introduce behind you the other two women. One looks like she's probably a vampire. She has the pallor about her in her black robes. She's really leaning into the gothic vampire vibe.
Nice.
And she is...
Instant classic.
Behind us, Eranora. And to my left, Pavila.
Pervula?
Pavila.
Pavila.
Deeply
Okay.
curtsy. Ela's not used to fancy balls, so it's very awkward curtsy.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Oh, 20, non-natural.
Nice.
Ooh, so your new heels, but you have half elven grace. It's like you were born to wear these heels and this dress. And even as you do the curtsy, parts of the butt bow, you just managed to get the butt bow out. So it's like, look how good the butt bow is, and you come down and then come back, and they nod towards you as though perhaps you are also a noble who attends these fancy parties all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll like wipe the oil on my hand, like extra on my pants, like just, oh, shit. Motor oil from Kirkwood.
Okay. Clayzest is looking towards you.
Steel Roses, I have heard of you, but I've never actually encountered any members previously to this.
When's the last time, Tibbles, that you dueled?
I don't know. I've been here, stuck here for a few months, so probably 6 months, 8 months ago.
And you see her slowly pull her gloves.
Well,
What is happening?
Tibbles.
She tosses the glove down at your feet.
You really want to do this?
Said, I challenge you to the duel of satisfaction with my second, Elagh.
Oh. I'll join the fan.
You quickly see a couple of those guards that were posted around. They come running over, and they're like, "Not now. You can't duel while all the guests are arriving in the middle of our. No. You will do it once the party starts. For everyone."
I accept. I need some time to talk to my group here.
The countesses are just arriving, and they would not want to miss such an exciting event. And so we will lead you in to the grand banquet hall, where you will have your chance to duel the Lady Clisette. She is currently undefeated in her, leadership of the Steel Roses.
That's very impressive. I
see her,
cannot
like-
claim to be undefeated.
Gets her little jacket, and one of the other plebeians comes in, picks up the gloves, dusts them off, and she keeps them with her.
I need this.
Yeah, no. Cosette doesn't pick up her own gloves.
You
Come
get
on. And she brushes down the front of her silk pants. Looks towards you all.
An honor, my lady.
I look forward to seeing one of the three of you facing off as the seconds for Tibbles. It's very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, sure is. So this what, like half an hour here we got?
You can see the guards are kind of just like, yeah, once everybody's inside, they'll move into and then drinks. Let people have a few drinks.
Yeah, main event. Let's save it for the
Yeah,
main event.
yeah, totally. We'll get our stuff and then we'll see how this shakes down.
We sure will.
Tibbles, what the fuck just happened?
You see, I'm going to move these ladies away. They're going to move forward to wait for you all in the main hall once the countesses arrive.
Would any of the rest of us know about these duels in the, what was it, the rose?
The Steel Roses? I definitely wouldn't know any. I might know about
You would definitely know.
high class stuff.
Probably everybody but
everybody's-
Emissary would know.
Yeah,
They're very common.
I'll let you ask Tibbles. How about?
Yeah.
I feel like, what is happening with this? What is a duel?
I need the drink.
Well, essentially
Raiders are coming around.
we're gonna
Lendar
fight. We'll have a little sword fight, and we get a second who can use magic to sort of buff things or do defensive stuff. They're not allowed to actually attack, only the actual duelists can attack. Generally, it's a pretty, ritualized type thing, more for show. But, death is allowed. It's kind of uncouth, but, it happens. And probably this type of thing, we don't have a bad history. I didn't even know who she was, although that might have been
might
insulting.
be a problem.
I don't know. But, I suspect I hope, I'm not going to kill her unless I have to. but that's usually more when it's a feud-based thing, or But
Is it like
yeah,
you should put money on Tibbles, like real good, or maybe hedge our bets a little 50-50?
well, I mean, she says she's undefeated. I can't make that claim, but it has been a long time since I've lost. This is not the first time some random person has come up to me and been like, "We must duel. I've heard of you," and I have not heard of you, but let's do this.
Like I said, iconic.
Yeah.
And, the party is really starting to pick up. The waiters and waitresses, staff are coming around. They have champagne. They have red and white wine. They have assorted other interesting looking things, kind of spicy cocktails. They smell like the Xeraxis peppers that you guys might have interacted with when you were in Vailmos.
Is there any food around visibly?
They have
Like
not
meat?
as many nibbles as you'd expect.
Right.
And there are quite a few of them are vampires.
Yeah.
And you do notice that they have their own trays moving around.
Just IV bags.
They look more like very fancy little tiny goblets. So glass goblets that are definitely full of blood. Moving around on trays. And they're nibbles.
But there's no meat around.
I mean, you could probably pull a piece of fish off of another cracker thing.
It's not gonna do much. I'm just thinking about the grip.
Yeah, I get it. He'd be probably better off outside hunting bats.
Do we still have any fish in the old hat of holding?
Well, the hat is in the pocket, which the pocket is now pocket of holding.
And as soon as you open up your pocket, though, Cocoon peeks
Oh my
out.
goodness.
Triggered, Cocoon at the front of the party.
Ah!
And Cocoon clearly looks like a little bit watched you helping yourself to trays.
Oh no.
A 9, we haven't gotten a 9. So a 9 is Kirkoon's gonna do something that not that it thinks I want. Kirkoon's gonna do something that it decides for the first time ever that it wants to do.
Oh no.
Which I'll let you kind of decide. Literally, it can move 15 feet and takes my bonus action to fire.
Okay.
What a party.
It's very strong and has very high AC and very high dex.
Amazing. Cocoon clambers out of your pocket. And you can see a quick little scuttle.
Yeah. Oh!
But you're unable to grab him before it races forward into the party. And it sees somebody wearing gloves.
Okay.
And as it races forward towards that person, 15, you see the Cocoon just scuttle along the floor, and people are getting knocked out of the way, and it looks up at this person. It notices that she's reaching out her hand to grab a glass of wine, and she has long gloves all the way up to her elbow. And Cocoon jumps onto her arm.
I will kind of holding what is left of the thing that what was it? Rats? No, we fed all the rats. What was in the pocket? The fish.
Meat pies?
Meat pie? No,
Those
meat
are
pies are
gone.
long gone.
Yeah, that was before the rats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll pull out whatever food I have stored. I'm certain we bought some meat for our friend Bruce.
Yeah, the pub. Yeah.
And we'll throw it out there.
Bruce!
I kind of throw it and run towards Kirkun and be like, Kirkun, no! Stop! And because he's about 12 pounds, so I'm sure that was very dramatic.
And another guard that not one of the ones you recognize, but is quickly stepping in as you're wrestling Cocoon away from this woman, and she starts to scream.
Oh no.
And there's a whole tray of wine glasses collapse to the floor. And there's
It
a
was
big
wine though, not blood?
It was wine.
Okay.
Yeah. She's human.
Oh, thank God. Do not piss off the hosts.
And the guard looks over to you.
I am very sorry, very, very sorry, ma'am. Very sorry, guard, that this very naughty thing is not functioning as it should.
And it reaches out and slaps you.
That was very rude, Kurkun.
Maybe Carcoon wants some satisfaction there.
That is perhaps you are challenging me to duel, Kurkun.
I think that you need to take that thing out. It cannot stay at the party.
Of course. And I'll try to
And then it.
try and shut him off.
The-
Try and like turn him off.
Okay. And
Never tried it
roll
before.
your d20. And so will I. Straight roll.
60.
16. It blinks, and then you think you've turned it off, and as you turn away and walk away, it kind of looks up at you.
I'm sorry, Kurkun. I'm very sorry. You have to calm down. We are in big trouble. And I will escort Kurkun outside.
And as you take Cocoon out, it slowly starts to kind of make a weird clicking purr noise.
I see. You just want to be held. Okay.
And back at the party behind you, what you are all watching is that the woman is being comforted, but one of the other party goers says, "That's the thing from the show. It's from the show." And the guard quickly jumps onto that to try to be like, "Traveling performers, what are you going to do? You have great story to tell now, yay!" And he's trying to convince this woman who looks a little disheveled and upset, and they are quickly, someone is rushing over to do some magic on the bottom of her dress because there's wine all spilled down her beautiful gown. But luckily, someone is there attempting to cleanse everything, and it's going quite well.
And this, as I'm carrying Kurkun, he is almost where he needs to be. To that sparkle in his eye,
Yes.
becoming just always there.
Oh, so you back off. I'm going to put him back in your hat so that Cocoon is
Yeah.
away for now. But affectionate towards you in a way that you haven't noticed before, and responds to you. You get the impression of it reminds you a little bit of the way your children would push, but then respond
Yes.
to your guidance.
Have we walked further in, or are we just standing in the doorway like a bunch of assholes?
It's a large foyer entrance, but we'll move you. We'll
It's
move
like
you
a
all
big
farther.
line of people behind
Yeah,
us.
like, can't get past this big rock.
Sorry, I have to get through. I got very weird
Talk with you.
robot.
And so you've all moved in, and now you can see that the banquet hall is set up. They are only serving dessert. So it's different, all mistberry themed desserts, and you can see along the aisles, at the edges on the outside, where the windows are open to show the two moons. As the clouds travel across the sky, there's just piles of cakes and desserts and sweets. And mostly glasses of blood being served as the vampires enter as well. That's all they consume.
Can I just see if I can notice any dwarves, particularly one that looks like he's the captain of the guard, Silverfang?
You're looking around for a captain of the guard? Yeah.
Perception?
Yep.
I'm just looking for fancy dwarves. I'm
Look for
assuming-
fancy dwarves.
Yeah.
I'll tell you if you see anything. You're
Yeah, nope.
on your way into the banquet hall. You look down and see that huge pile of wine on the floor, and it's kind of enough of a puddle.
Release the kraken! And then I'm just like, hello? Hello? I'm a traveler. I'm a performer. Part of my act. Another deep bow.
Elagh, so smooth.
Thank you. Thank you. I really got my stage legs.
Maybe you should turn into a fancy walrus at the party.
That's a really good idea, Cliff. I think I'm not gonna do that because I spent a lot of time getting ready in my human form. Like my hair looks really good, so I feel like maybe later, but not right now. I just like to enjoy this.
Elagh, what do you think that woman over there looks like? Does she look like a sea creature to you?
The hairy one?
Yeah.
No, she looks like a
If she was a sea creature, though, what would she look like?
maybe an otter?
Hillicar definitely notices you staring,
Seems rude.
and she's not impressed. She catches your eye, and she's just like,
Out loud proclaim an otter?
That's a compliment where I'm from. You are as beautiful as an otter, which we revere as a godlike creature from
she
my...
walks away.
Okay,
Elagh, so smooth.
thank you.
We're nailing this party, Elagh. We're going to be invited back for sure.
Would really like that.
Good
I
impression
really like the way my
on-
butt looks in this room.
I'm very excited to meet these countesses because I'm sure it's going to be even better.
I think so too.
Yeah, maybe they both look like otters too.
Probably not. But you never know. You never know.
I rolled a 4.
You're really staring at everybody. You're really staring at everybody. And then when you notice that there isn't a single dwarf at this entire ball that you can see, you're mad. Because you came for answers. And your crystals start to crack through your suit.
So that won't come.
Yeah. And it triggers. What do we got?
Just a glowy suit. Yeah.
You guys notice
Snazzy.
getting a little frustrated. Emissary doesn't see
Designer.
anyone that you're looking for that you can recognize. The ball is full of mostly humans, significant numbers of vampires, many more than you would have noticed in the city. They're mostly human, but the pallor to them, regardless of their skin tone. They are clearly undead, but very fancy. And excited because there's a band playing.
Tibbles, do you require assistance in this duel?
Yeah, I'm totally going to. Storber, no offense, but I don't think you're going to be too helpful here. You're mostly offensive.
Yeah, kind of like just tinkering away at something. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry about it.
No, I'm not offended.
Yeah. What kind of supportive spells might you two have?
I don't have a lot of defensive stuff, but I can do absorb elements. I can.
What
Cure
what is
wounds.
absorb elements?
It's a great question.
I think that only works on yourself.
It captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effect on you and storing it for your next melee attack. Would that work in this case?
It's just on yourself, though, right?
Well,
I almost took that one, so I don't think you can use that on someone else.
What do you think? Probably can't use it on someone else?
I don't think it's going to be as effective as you might want it to be. So, in the discussion that you and Tibbles have about your abilities, that one is probably. You could try. You could always try.
Yeah, I have a lot of offensive spells.
I can turn you invisible, but as soon as you attack, you will become visible.
Okay.
That's kind
And
of fun.
you have some healing.
I have lots of healing,
Okay.
but nothing that will give you an advantage in your actual attack.
And as you are discussing a little bit, you do hear occasional whispers of the other guests as they cross, and they look like if they are probably fancy people from town, they are pointing you out as potential traveling troubadours, and if they are from farther away, they are discussing putting bets of whether they favor Clezest or Tibbles.
I can also make you faster.
I can make you climb up walls.
You got bark skin as well, because that
I got
touch a
bark skin
willing
as well.
creature. That's pretty good.
I could make
Macy's
you.
target can't be. Oh, wow, that's not really gonna help.
I can make you traverse the ceiling and shit.
Spider.
I mean, that could be helpful. I've seen you have counterspell, right?
Yes, I can stop others from doing magic.
Counterspell could be really useful, and haste also.
Yes, I can make you faster and more durable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
This is your choice. Yeah.
I think that's
I
a good
think
choice.
I think Emissary is going to be my second.
Do I have
I
time?
can just heal you after,
Yeah.
which, if you
Yeah.
need it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be alive. I might be unconscious, but probably not.
Meta question: are your spells detectable? Like,
I don't know.
like if your healing spells, what do you have? Oh, you have that staff.
I have a staff.
Is verbal and somatic.
Tibbles would be
Would
very
she?
opposed to that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's fair.
No, it's okay.
And
I
as
think
we
we just
continue to
take
discuss-
all the loose gold.
It would
we have
completely
and make
ruin
a
his
sick
reputation and honor.
That's
He would rather lose fairly than.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're not
I mean,
saying
if you're
that-
dying, I'm gonna do it.
Why not?
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Like, I think it would be pretty unreasonable and just tacky for her to take this all
That's
the
fair.
way to the death.
That's fair.
A couple of people passing, yeah. A couple of people passing by are not as interested in you guys, and instead they are more interested in someone passing past you,
Oh.
who's wearing a lot of very standout orange, and they're talking about Orwiska and traveling all the way here from Neslenko.
From where's that?
Neslenko.
Am I aware of this location?
It's another nation in Adarjan. So you are.
Yeah.
If someone else wants to jump in as you hear.
You would know about it. It's
Yeah.
like the Adarjan's sort of a loose collection of city-states. It would be the one that other one like do tribute to. Like,
Oh,
there-
right, okay.
if you were to have a capital, it would be there.
It's
So they are
city
the
of
kingdom, the
Yeah.
kingdom of Neslenko, and you are in the duchy of Lendar.
Sure. Okay.
And a lot of people seem
In
to
reality,
be
they
favoring
don't have power outside of their own area.
Right. Yeah. Like very much a city state.
Yeah.
very loose association of these nations. And so the Countesses of Lendar are in charge of this part of Adarjan. There's clearly some politics going on, and a lot of people are trying to get this man's attention. He has two people in waiting traveling with him who are very quiet, and you can tell that the party seems to favor what he seems interested in. So he mentions to a guard passing past you that he doesn't like the music, and someone runs over and they change their tune. So you can pick that up on the party around you as you participate in the experience.
So this person looks important.
Traveling through the party, greeting, seems to taste things, nibble, throws them away on another plate from one of his assistants.
Rude.
It's all you'll know.
And you don't pick up on too much else other than there is a pretty sweet party starting up, and as it gets a little bit more heated, you see that the guests that everyone has been waiting for arrive. So the music is suddenly quiet as two women enter, and everyone hushes to see what are they wearing, who are they traveling with, and it is clearly the vampire brides, the countesses, and they come in hand. One of them tall, her dark skin pallid with the death. She's been undead for hundreds of years, and her dark curls are piled on top of her head with green ribbons, and they spill down, and the green is accented in her blue gown that she wears, deep cut neckline. She's got jewels hanging from her ears and her fingers and her wrists. She is bedazzled, beautiful. She looks like she probably didn't have to spend a bunch of money because she already owned all of this, and she looks lovely. And then her wife next to her. Some of you may know that this one is Desislava. You would probably have been familiar with what they look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one, the redhead next to her, stands out. Extremely pale, icy blue eyes, big flaming brave style red curls that have been braided all over, and braids at the top sticking out the sides, and then coming down with her emeralds and jewels. She's wearing a very snazzy white gown tonight, which is even more icy against her skin tone. And you know that she is Lexandra.
What was the first one? Desislava?
Desislava.
Desislava and like.
I know, so many names this episode. You guys are doing great.
I'm not going to remember any of them. I haven't written them down.
I'll put them in our chat. Desislava and Alexandra are the Countesses of Lendar. And quick roll a history check for me, so I know how much you know about their history. Ooh.
My history checks suck today.
You didn't learn shit in Velmos.
Yeah.
I got 18.
Okay.
10.
I got a 10.
You're from the closest here, so roll at advantage.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to.
No, that's one better. I got 11.
You know, you're not interested in nobles that much.
They
You
are-
kind of knew what they looked like and who was who. Your family loves following the royals of anywhere.
Yeah.
And although they are
Mom
not
was super
actual
into it.
royalty, you and your mom were just like, oh, they can't.
So scandalous.
And so they are not actually, it's a duchy, but they are not duchesses. And there was a duke a long time ago. He died, and they were just like, we're in charge now, bitch. And it's actually been so profitable for people for the last 200 years that they continue to lead Lendar.
They are dope.
Not only are they excellent
That's what
businesswomen
an
in the sense
18
of like
guns.
Lendar
The rest of the
Red,
party, they're dope.
They're dope.
the most famous wine in the world, but in general, the entire nation prospers. So.
Is the? Did you say your number? Oh, you said you had a bad roll.
Yeah, I had an 8.
Are they looking like they're about to make a speech or something, or are they just kind of like blending in and are approachable, or?
They are blending in and approachable. They are immediately welcoming the party, everybody to their ball, and rather than talking or announcing anything, they don't need to. They just look towards the bend, nod, and they fire right up, and it is a party.
I'm
They've
beelining
officially
for
arrived.
the Countesses.
Amazing. There's a crowd around them as people are trying to politely make their greetings. People who are used to the party, you see them like smile and nod at them and raise their glass. They have somehow magically managed to find themselves each a, blood goblet, and they are already enjoying and watching everybody and assessing everyone's clothes.
Well, I can see them over everyone's heads.
Yes.
And I'm just approaching.
You see the black curls and the red braids next to each other.
Seeing this, Tibbles
Yeah.
goes to catch up, kind of using Gordy in front of him to push people out of the way.
Yeah, like one of those cow.
Yeah.
Things, yeah.
Yeah, Elah's like, oh, okay, I know a lot about these ladies. This is probably bad. Excuse me. Excuse me. But she's like, in her little heels, like trying to walk quickly.
And does Storber notice everyone?
Yeah, I'll follow semi-close, but I'm also very interested in finding out if Taryn is here and trying to figure out who Wenzel Rotan is.
Might be the
Are you
person
trying
in
to
the
talk
orange.
to somebody on your way as you're watching these guys travel? There's a
yeah.
guard. There's obviously a few vampires around, partying it up.
Don't know if I've made a very good impression of the party so far, so I'm just gonna kind of linger a little bit in between the two groups, or like in between Dude in the Orange and the party at the Countesses.
I don't regret at all having this many here. Okay.
Need like the claw.
Yeah.
Right? So this guy who's still kind of milling over here, and you all head this way.
Where are the Countesses?
They're right here.
Oh.
We'll use. Whoop! I gotta get some Countess minis.
Yeah.
Burp. We'll use this.
They're a pretty important part of prep.
Hush your face!
How many griffins do we have?
Didn't we have the Countesses in that one shot we did?
I couldn't find them!
Oh, poops.
I know! Oh my gosh, your party's getting so huge here. No regrets! And Gordy's in front of you.
Welcome to episode 8. Draws plays with minis.
These are my dolls.
This one's you.
No, the Countesses will not be entering into combat with anyone today. I hope for your sakes. So, as 200-year-old vampires, they are quite capable. and you are in their lair, so please don't. Okay, and as you race over to them, they are doing greetings with a crowd of people in front of them. You can see them politely nodding, smiling, drinking.
That's all right. This is one of those situations where being really direct and aggressive might not be good.
I am not going to be aggressive. Direct, yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can just, all those impulses you have to go and just immediately start asking them really important questions, I wonder if we could quell those a little bit and see if we can delicately figure out a better plan, because they might just kick us out.
Yeah, we maybe want to butter them up a little
We
bit.
need to, butter them up.
What does this mean?
This means charm them, not magically, but with our personalities, you know?
Yeah, don't actually put butter on them.
Please don't put butter on them.
I will not. I will present my ticket.
Elagh, you know what's really good with butter?
Yeah.
And there, as you get close enough, in front of them there is a really short human who looks like they are looking for, not a dwarf.
Oh.
Just a short human.
Oh, okay.
Looks like they
Sure,
are
yeah, definitely.
looking for people who are much more subtle about their golden tickets. But you don't need to be. Just people have their golden ticket like under their plate.
I mean, I
And,
pulled it
like,
out, and basically I'm holding it above
Multi-pass.
everyone. Yeah, lead them down us, for sure.
Okay, that maybe we can put that away
Why?
because
What is the point of it if we must put it away?
it might come across as rude.
Yeah. I recommend just, tuck it in your pocket
Yeah.
with your thing. It'll stick out. People will see it. But you won't, you'll look like you're classier.
Mine's in my hat, like it's like an accessory,
I don't.
Okay.
And you walk forward, and you seem to hit like a magical barrier that it looks like maybe being maintained by that short human.
Ah,
So around them there seems to be a force field,
yeah.
a
They're
circle that you can't cross.
Oh.
Sorry, Shannon. Go
they're
on.
not easily accessible people.
Is there anyone within that force field? Like, it's just them and the little human?
And one guest that they are talking to.
How close to am I right up against the force field then?
Yes.
So they can see me.
Yep.
And here?
Yes. Presumably, they hear the music because they seem to be nodding along as tunes change, or. But they're engaged in conversation with someone else, and they are taking their time to speak to everyone.
Here's what we do. I got a plan. Why don't we,
I'm not performing.
on the count of 3, I'll laugh really loud like you're the most charming, hilarious guy ever, and maybe they'll be interested in talking to you. And then they come to you, instead of you forcing yourself on, not forcing yourself on them, but, here's what I'm going to do. Just don't say anything. Oh my God! You are just too much! This guy is the best person at this party, let me tell you.
Roll performance.
Wow. 6.
So the laugh goes on for a little bit longer, and you keep trying to look back because the countesses are so much more beautiful in person than in any of the little scribbling books that you and your mom had found. They are glorious and kind of scary. Like their skin looks like stone, polished to perfection. It's so perfect.
No, my pores are so big. Oh, God.
And
Maybe she just gets reduced to tears in the performance. She's like, I don't know why I'm here. This is very overwhelming.
Yep.
You seem
It's
to be-
all gonna be good. Breath, deep breath.
You're having a much harder time with this than I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe, let's be optimistic and assume the duel's gonna go well. Maybe that will give us our in.
Oh.
Or even if I lose, as long as I survive, still might give us an in.
Yeah,
You
all the
know,
eyes will
like-
be on you. Yeah.
Yeah, like the spectacle of it, you know, it sounded like, you know, no one wanted to start the spectacle before they got here, so they'd probably be interested in talking to people after, maybe.
Yeah. That's a good plan.
I am tired of waiting. Countesses!
Oh no. Drinking. Somebody.
They're always passing by when someone looks like they might be looking for a drink.
Tibbles just like busies himself with with Gordy's like saddle and like he's like
Gotta go wash my hair.
cleaning, you know, his little Gordy
I'm gonna
suit.
wave to you as you like walk away from that scene, like from the pillar that I'm like kind of leaned up against, like talking to some academic dude, like, oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh god. Oh, so embarrassing.
The frustration causes you to
That makes
trigger your
sense.
tides of chaos.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's just like the most grumbly voice.
It's a 3, so.
It triggers it anyway. Your wild magic table.
All right.
Oh no.
I'll
In,
take
the-
it.
in the
For
moment,
real,
Yep,
the
no,
drink.
that's fair. I was actually about to suggest that I just roll, so.
wine comes to you, and some nibbles. The guards know what they're doing.
Emotional eating and drinking.
Any nibbles for Tibbles?
Sanctuary on myself.
Yes, there's lots of plates of things. to try.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay. I teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space of my choice that I can see. I'm
And
right
you go
in front
to
of
you
them.
go to slam into the shield, and your frustration and
Can I just teleport within the shield and stand right in front of them?
yes, you can.
Perfect.
Fuck.
Right in front of them.
I joined the
So-
fanfare.
So as that happened, I clearly glowed very, very green.
A huge
light
explosion of
emanating.
green light from the crystals within you. And you
Definitely gonna get to
snap
talk
into
with
their
the
space.
guards.
Guards rush in from everywhere, but the countesses look towards you, and you see Alexandra makes eye contact with you, but Desislava makes eye contact with many people in the room that she's clocking, and she raises a hand as though they should stand down. And Alexandra,
Hello, I am Emissary. I've traveled
Hello.
very far to meet you.
Emissary. Quite rude.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you have just jumped in here to a conversation that I'm having with another party guest. It's quite unbecoming. This must mean it is very urgent.
It is very urgent. There are very powerful forces troubling this land. I know you are aware, for vampires' teeth have been being pulled from them.
Desislava next to her smiles her most charming smile. Emissary, you are a great hero, clearly, and you have much concern for the people. But tonight's party is not just about all of the problems of Adarjan that are vampire teeth related. Today the party is much more about saving our nation from other nations. And she is making eye contact and smiling as though this was a planned meeting. And perhaps we shall talk more later. Do you understand
Yes,
that I am asking you?
This is urgent. I do not want to be brushed aside.
I would not brush you aside. But I do understand that when heroes arrive at the gates of the Castle Lendar, it is not without dire need. But if you can understand that I have more concerns than just yours or my own or this city.
Yes, I am not your enemy. I believe we have a common enemy.
Then we shall talk later.
Okay.
Can you wait for me?
Yes, I must help my friend Tibbles first in a duel.
And Alexandra, Sir Tibbles the Parschada?
Yes.
I understand that we are having a duel of satisfaction. Wonderful. I think perhaps now would be a good time.
Yeah, let's get this over with.
And you can see that they are trying to turn this into a moment and look around at everybody.
I'm sorry.
Well, if that's working.
The crowd starts to clap as the countesses appear to say that
I did not mean to offend. I cannot always control the magic that holds me together.
you are made of great materials. And I hope that that metal serves us all well for you to save Adarjan. But right now,
It is crystal, not metal.
we must continue with the party. For everyone. Okay.
Yes.
Now, you have made scene. So you will continue with this charade, and you will announce the duel.
Oh. Okay. Now,
Alexandra. Yeah. Very much now. Yep.
Do I remember the name of the person dueling?
That's up to you, friend.
I didn't write it down, so I'm.
Oh, so would Emissary take note enough of that? Does he, she, it participate in, they participate in that kind of information storing? How concerned is Emissary about the names of the
because
characters of the world
because
they interact with?
Came up to us and it was such a thing, Emissary would have been paying attention. I just didn't write it down.
Okay, so Claizest Hannah and her second, Hilakar Brooklyn.
Clazistana and what?
Claizest
Claizest.
Hannah.
I'm gonna have to write.
You know what? We'll just say that you said it correct if you think,
Oh, okay, great.
if you think Emissary did. So Claizest
Sure.
Hannah and her second, Hilakar Brooklyn.
Elagh Brooklyn. Okay. Dear God.
I love to name characters. Hey people, if you're out there and you want help naming characters, tweet at me. I'm at Squirrels of Doom. It's my favorite.
Okay, so I'm just going to turn and as loud as I can, and I'm apologizing to my vocal cords.
attention, partygoers! Now, for your viewing pleasure, Sir Tibbles to Parschada and his second, I, the emissary of Adarjan.
No, not Adarjan.
Hallucinating.
Cannon.
Cannon.
Shall face off in a duel of satisfaction against, I've already forgotten their names,
Claizest.
Claizest,
Hannah.
Hannah, and her second,
Helikar?
Elagh Brookwyn.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah!
Tibbles gives like a flourish of his
Hila
hat.
starts every
Little
clap.
bow. I mean, first he jumps up on Gordy's back so people can actually see him.
Actually, see Tibbles.
sorry.
Emissary's gonna get a clap down one of these days.
Just
And you can
double-fisting
see
wine.
people start to move off of the red carpet
Ah.
that adorns the center aisle.
I'm gonna go up to you and just be like, should we maybe like work the crowd a little bit?
Yes, I think we should. I think we should try and find our friend Wenzel.
Out of the corner of your
Karen.
eye, you spot around one of the pillars.
Bets. How
Absolutely.
much gold you got?
Yeah. These people are rich.
I give you all the gold.
So, trying to make eye contact with someone in your party, which hard with these two because they're occupied getting ready for
Right, yeah, it was-
the red carpet. But two of you is this curly-haired ginger in a very sharp tweed matching vest and bow tie, and trying to get your attention is this really awkward-looking human
Yeah.
leaning out from a pillar.
Am I hat? And so I look at Storber and we're like,
Yes.
We'll set the two of you up in a second.
okay.
As we set up the duel of satisfaction. So, in the middle aisle, Gordy to the side, Tibbles, and Emissary. across from you, being watched very closely by the dignitary from Nizlenko. Our friends. 20 feet separates you to begin with our duel.
Tibbles takes his jacket off, you know, kind of loosens up, stretches a bit, you know, gets himself ready.
Nice. Okay.
Six to 1 odds.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, right.
Storber is much better at math.
So the two main duelists will roll initiative.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is there like is there going to be like a begin or like a start, like 3, 2, 1, engage kind of thing?
Based on the initiative rolls,
It's a ring girl.
the first person, yeah. Yeah.
Elagh.
Because if they're already facing off, I want to cast invisibility on them.
You can't, Tibbles would have explained that you don't start until the fight has its
Yeah, like
official
that's
duel
I
initiation.
guess,
Yeah.
like if there was like a 3,
There is,
2,
yes,
1,
yeah. Okay, so Tibbles
But-
explained, but there is some etiquette to the start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we use the same initiative, but when it's our turn, either of us can go first. We can choose.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
But
cool.
you don't have your own initiative roll.
Oh, okay.
There's only the 2.
Okay.
Magic duo!
Sweet.
Roll initiative.
Don't forget you have inspiration.
Non-natural 20.
Nice.
Fucking yeah.
Okay, knowing Tibbles and Clayzest start in the middle, and then they walk back, they've done a gold coin flip to signal who will act first. Tibbles is the winner. And the gold coin hits the ground and stays between you. As you walk away, each doing your pace. 10, 15. Back down. So there should be 30 spaces between you. Boop. Okay. And with that, between you, we're gonna come back to you guys because as they have been doing the ritual of the start of the Duel of Satisfaction, the two of you have noticed that a very curly, red-haired, skinny gentleman is trying to get your attention.
Like go around the pillar on either side.
Yeah.
And kind of like flank. I'll just kind of like put my hand down on his one shoulder.
Yes, and I will put my hand on his other shoulder.
Here is Elagh. And here is...
I'm in front of that pillar as well, where you got Elagh from.
Oh, there you are, Storber. Perfect. So the three of you are here.
Greetings, my little friend, and I'll kind of scoop off a glass of wine and kind of offer it. Like, are you enjoying the party?
He takes a glass of wine, drinks the whole thing down, and grabs another one and goes past. I am Wenzel, and it's very good to meet you. But, drinks again, grabs another one. We cannot stay here. I have a lot of information for you guys. The Countesses, you know, just drinks another glass of wine. He's like, oh, this is a party going on. Come with me to the library.
And miss this sick duel? Shit. I'll watch it on YouTube.
And Wenzel takes another glass.
No, I grab it out of his hand. Like, okay. We're gonna need you sober for this information. So
what I
I'll
built.
drink that one.
I am Wenzel Watton.
Hello, I am Elagh Smahls.
Storber Tolmachev, let us maybe talk more discreetly in quiet place. Yes, very good, Wenzel.
Where's the library?
He
He's
starts,
probably going to show us.
and he toddles off with his little the way Wenzel walks, and Wenzel walks you over to the library.
Yeah.
It is glorious.
Oh, yes.
It is full of beautiful old tomes, and it smells.
Oh, yeah.
It's everything you would have expected a magnificent Gothic vampire library. Books, floor to ceiling.
I failed my wisdom saving throw. I go over to a rack and just like, oh my god, hundreds of years old.
Thanks to a redemption of some fun finds earlier, you find a book called Druid Staffs Quarterly.
Okay.
You find History of the Realms of the North, A Guide to Beginners' Cantrips, and you find one that you take with you for later, if Wenzel isn't looking, if you want to try.
Right.
That says something about magic of mind flayers.
There's actually a lot.
But it's in a language that you recognize as your homeland.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the sons of bitches. Yeah, I'll kind of set them somewhat aside somewhere where I might be able to find them later. But I will definitely.
Pocket there.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'll join you in just a second. And I'll just kind of like leave the books in kind of on the shelf. I want to talk to Wenzel first because this guy will definitely ghost me.
Okay, back to the duel.
All right, let's start with haste, and I will try and get this done as fast as possible so that the minute doesn't expire while I'm still fighting. 'Cause
Would
that'd
you
be
like
bad.
to be invisible for your first move, though? For I can only do that from here. I have to touch you.
What benefits do I get from being invisible?
She cannot see you.
Yeah, but does it, like, do I get advantage on anything, or?
I would imagine your attack would give you advantage. There's a delay. I would imagine, yeah, if you're going to stab somebody from behind or something.
Well, it would say that if,
From invisibility?
yeah.
Yeah, if you open your spell.
Because I'm not a rogue, so I don't naturally get
funny,
advantage
'cause it
or
doesn't say
anything if
that.
I'm not seen.
Oh,
get
it
advantage
just says
of
the spell ends
sneaking.
for a target that attacks or casts a spell, but it doesn't say if you would have advantage or not.
DM?
Yeah. I think that would be DM discretion.
In the case of the duel,
Maybe because they're on alert and you turn invisible, they're kind of like, no, but still, they're like, they
no,
look
that
in there
you
and
would
get
you'd be able to
stabbed
do
there.
it. Yeah, I mean, unless they cast a spell that helps to detect you better, you can attack with advantage.
But it would only be for one attack, so.
And so it's up to you guys which of those two benefits you longer.
Haste.
Well, let's start with invisibility and then in the next round do the haste.
Yes.
Because it will once the minute expires, which is like 10 rounds.
Yes.
I will be toast because I won't be able to move, react, or do anything. So if we do it, I gotta end it fast.
Let's just start with the haste.
Yeah, sure.
Screw it.
You know, I'm good. You know, being invisible feels a little iffy to me, although it is totally within the rules. So,
Are we?
you know,
Oh, he just gets to engage when
You
ready.
act first. They will respond once Tibbles acts.
Okay. Yeah.
okay. So
just gonna
haste.
have one
I
person in
gain
hand.
2 to my AC. I have advantage on Dex saving throws, and I get an additional action on my turns. Although it says that I can only attack once, despite the fact that I get 2 attacks on an attack action. So I get 3 attacks.
That's correct. Sick.
Also, my speed is doubled, so despite the fact that I'm 30 feet away, I can get there without having to use my bonus.
Yeah, you got that sick bonus.
Yeah.
I feel like we bonded that one time in the tower when we were
And
fighting.
Tibbles, you take first action in the Duel of Satisfaction against Countesses, champion of the Steel Roses.
All right.
This is legendary fight.
Yeah, I'm going to use my haste, rush in. First attack, not great. 14.
Hit.
Oh my god.
Wow, damn. That's scary.
It's more intimidating.
Okay, second attack. 29. Definitely hits then. And third attack, 27.
Okay.
All right, so it's
I like to think that the band they're playing the like strings right now.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
not a great attack or damage. 21 damage.
Okay. Do you stay where you are, Tibbles?
Heck no. Bonus bonus action. I go back to where I started, 30 feet away.
Okay. You move back along the carpet in a flash of the green and mustard yellow. It's just green and gold as you flash forward through the space. Your rapier slashes out. Does a huge amount of damage to her. Slashes across her. On their turn. Elagh. You can see from her magic that she also casts haste.
Reaction counterspell. No, she doesn't.
Hold on, let me make sure this works.
Yeah, you're good.
Third level or lower. Yep. The spell fails and has no effect.
Okay. Possessed. She will race forward and attack,
This have a beatboxer.
right?
Ah, I think stop using that.
She attacks twice.
Okay.
She will use her maneuver evasive footwork.
It what?
Evasive footwork.
Okay. Which means
She's moving, so she spends a Spirited Oil to add to her AC. Oops. A 19
that does not hit.
and a 24.
That hits.
And her rapier will do. Oh, there it is. 10 points of damage.
Okay.
So she has come forward 30. Which leaves her in front of you. Elagh will also use her movement.
Whoop. Oh.
They will switch places so that she seems to stand in front of Countesses.
Okay.
Back in the library, as you are looking through books. But then Wenzel turns back to you, and his little hands are kind of shaking as Wenzel passes you 2 pieces of paper. Oh. Torn, burned.
Go.
The longer we're in here, the weirder it is. So you're gonna have to speak real fast,
Okay.
my guy.
I can do that. Yeah, I'm Wenzel. And, do you know Rortan?
No, Rortan.
Rotan?
Rotan. This
Yeah.
is.
Rotan is Silver Fang to the castle. Yeah.
Okay, sure, yep.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So, oh my god. Taryn said sending people to help us. Because, there is a mind flayer stealing the vampire teeth someday. Wenzel, that is me. I will probably get to, be a vampire like all the other vampires at the castle. I've been serving many long years here, helping with the monster hunt, and I have very good skills when it comes to organizing paperwork and filing.
That's
and
very,
I have
very impressive resume, my friend.
Yeah.
And you will no doubt find
So?
your place within nobility of vampires here in Lendar. However, there is a lot of questions that you just handed me.
So, yeah, Rortan caught the mind flayer once, and very dramatic, tried to bring the mind flayer here to the castle so the countesses, could find out what's going on, because we're also very curious. I'm sure you've heard the vampires, their teeth.
Of course.
Stealing.
Yeah.
So we caught him, but all we managed to get was these scraps of paper, and then the mind flayer escaped. And Rortan, never seen so mad.
When did this happen? Many questions. The mind flayers are.
It was just 4 days ago.
Oh my.
So
This is very-
Rortan and the countesses told everybody that they were going to go, do a bunch of looking at the border or doing a thing.
Which border where was?
Yeah. But they didn't actually go there. They were chasing the mind flayer north. But the mind flayer didn't go there, which that's all I know so far. Because Rortan is a Silver Fang, so I only know a little bit about him. But when he does come to me, he is very scary, and so I do whatever he says. And he told me that, there'd be people showing up. They'd have this piece of paper like you have. His piece of papers would match, and if it was you guys,
Yeah.
that I should introduce you to him. And
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
I think this might.
How
We
do I
have-
know that you are the right guys? Because I don't want to do it wrong. Because if I do, Rotan's going to kill me.
Well, you have the other pieces of paper.
I'll kind of like.
And where did you get them?
They were given to us by a contact, which I was told only to discuss with Rotan.
That's good. Okay, Rotan. Well, do you know what the Silver Fang is?
I imagine a great position for a powerful warrior and protector of our great eternal countesses.
Yes. Rotan is in charge of dealing out the justice.
Okay, so what should we know about Rortan so that we don't fuck this up?
Rotan is a dwarf.
Okay.
Rotan is a vampire. Rotan, before vampire, powerful wizard. Has many powers now from both things. Very scary. And also, only has the one fang. After the fight with the mind flayer,
Okay.
and not happy.
so probably shouldn't mention that.
No.
Okay.
Don't talk about the fact that he is not as tall as the countesses, and don't talk about the fact that he has only one fang.
Yep, I can do that. It's great.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Great ones.
This
You
is
are
really-
clearly excellent at
Okay.
your job.
So Rotan is probably going to ask you what that means. Yeah.
Great.
The papers. So
We should
Do
figure
you
that out.
have
I am
any?
so glad you are here to solve the mystery
You
and
have
tell
not
him
solved it yourself.
I
Clearly.
only had the 2 pieces of the paper, so it didn't make
Well,
sense.
Wenzel, next time maybe a bit better. They only ask for perfection. I want the best for you, my friend.
Wait, do you think that Rotan is going to think that I was supposed to solve the mystery?
I don't. I think that you are doing a really good job,
Oh no!
and I think that your tweet suit's really nice.
Do you?
And
How close did you get to solving it, though? You have a clue, of course.
As he goes to open his mouth, we're going to cut back to the duel. So, here we are at the duel. And, on your turn, Tibbles and Emissary. Cheers, people! Actually, and then silent, they cheer, and then everyone looks around, and the countesses are like,
He's right in front of me, right? Like he retreated back to me, and now they've
Tibbles
advanced.
is in front of you, and then Hillicar, and then Clazest.
How do you want to be invisible?
No, I'm going to use my fighting spirit bonus action so that I have advantage on my weapon attack rolls until the end of the turn and get 5 temporary HP.
Okay. And are you acting before Emissary, or is Emissary acting before you?
What?
Talking about your initiative order between the two of you.
I'll act first.
Okay. And then are you giving Emissary a command or a suggestion?
Well, I think really the only 2 spells that you've got that you can use are counterspell and
Everything
haste.
else is DPS, yeah.
Yeah, so just, have that counterspell ready. Okay, so let's do this. First attack. Advantage. 27. Second attack. 27. Third attack. 26.
Did you deke around to get past the spellcaster?
No, I'm just with... Because the spellcaster's behind her.
No, she moved forward.
Oh.
She's in
They
between.
did a little swappy swaps.
Oh, yeah, then I loop around.
Through the legs.
Yeah.
Just slides beneath.
It's not
the
like I
legs.
need to worry about an opportunity attack, so... She can't.
No. As they approach, you spin around her, rapier wielding.
Okay.
What's your damage? And your action?
Go Tibbles.
26.
Okay.
Shape some water, bro.
Actually, I do have an action, right?
Yep.
Screw it. I'm gonna cast Mold Earth and bring the very stone up around the legs of the attacker. What's her name?
Clazette.
Can I not do that?
I don't think you're allowed to do anything that
only do things
touches
that-
them.
Affects him.
But if it didn't touch her,
Oh.
then it's just a barrier.
Like around her?
Tibbles, back up.
I can make difficult terrain.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, I'll, well, I can't get away because I've already used my bonus action.
No, okay. Oh, but can I put a barrier between them?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, I'll do that. I'll, let's see, Mold Earth. I can make it. How big? And for those at home who are like, Mold Earth is dirt only. I'm a crazy magic rock man. That's the homebrew I was talking about earlier. You can control stone, and I see stone everywhere.
I see stone. I see dead people.
So really, I can only make a 5-foot cube. So I can just make like not a whole cube because they're right up against each other, but I can make
You put a barrier between. So as she turns, potentially with her rapier at Tibbles,
She sees
who is
a
behind
stone
her,
wall.
suddenly a stone wall between her.
5 feet. So maybe she can see just over it, but he's only 2.5 feet tall, so she's just like.
And as her rapier,
just
she
tuck
goes
right
to her
up
rapier
against the
instead.
wall.
The wall of stone erupting.
Nice.
She holds while Hillicar behind her uses the spell Life Transference.
What?
To transfer her own hit points to her companion.
Oh no.
And she's going to transfer 4d8 worth of necrotic damage to herself to transfer those hit points. And the very faded, extremely injured, close to succumbing Clazest instead renewed by 18 hit points.
Sorry, that was a cast?
Yes.
Counterspell?
It wasn't your spell action to... Oh, it's a
It's a
reaction.
reaction.
Counterspell's a reaction.
So he gets to.
Yeah.
Glorious cast.
Just suck the magic away from her.
So she's trying to, you see life literally leaving,
And then I just take it.
and it just transfers back in the other direction.
It heals the wall.
And a very frustrated DM will call a break because we'll be back to this duel and the mystery in the library when we come back in 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back. We are in Shadows of Blood in the Castle Lendar, where we are doing both our duel of satisfaction between Tibbles and Clazest, and we are also splitting the party with two members off in the library meeting Wenzel to talk about the mystery of the Mind Flayer. We are at the duel. We have just had a glorious counterspell. Dang it. Moment. Where counterspell as our second for Clazest, Hillicar cast a spell to transfer literally her life energy to her teammate, and instead, as her eyes were turning dark and this life was leaving, sucked through her magic into Clazest, instead you cast counterspell.
Yeah.
And the flush returns to her face, the luster to her fur, this recovered werewolf, Hillicar Bookman. And you go next.
Ah.
Oh, Clazest can still move. Because how wide is this wall that you've cast?
Only 5
My
feet.
apologies.
5 feet high, 5 feet. It's just a
Oh.
5 by 5
Just a square.
in the pipe.
Just a nice square.
So Clazest can
Stone
still
square.
move out around it. She's not encased in this stone.
She can dig around it, yeah.
Okay. She spins out. Around and across to Tibbles. You see her come around the wall of stone. She attacks twice. Ah! Oh no. A 23 is her first attack.
That gets past my buckler. Yep.
I just had it in here.
What's your AC?
My AC is 17 plus the 2 of haste, plus I have a feat that allows me to add 3 to my AC when I'm hit by a melee attack. So 22.
22, and that was what?
23.
And ties go to the defender or attacker?
Attacker.
Attacker. If it
Okay.
meets your AC or higher.
How many hit points you got left?
Was counterspell a reaction?
Yeah. But that was. Wait,
It was an
We've already done our turn though.
in this round?
Yeah.
We're done?
This is her.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is their
'cause we
turn.
go first.
And then you reaction counterspell. her.
Yep. Copy that.
Yeah.
I gotta do nothing.
Okay, so her first attack hits you, and it is glorious 15 points of damage.
Okay.
However, her second attack, she missteps, catches her own foot in the carpet, and stumbles. A costly error. She botched.
Oh. Nice.
Not too serious, but enough that you notice. Her wounds have gotten the better of her, but she doesn't give up. At this stage in a duel of satisfaction, usually someone would stand down. She looks potentially fatally wounded,
Oh, damn.
and you see the blood seeping out from beneath her beautiful jacket. And it's bleeding fast. Soaks through her white pants, all down her side.
Never wear white pants. Never wear white pants. Been there.
And she... Right? Could be a duel. You don't know.
I don't know.
Doesn't stop. She turns back towards you. Ready again.
What's red?
In the library. Here we are. Two of you are facing with Wenzel, who's very nervous that if he doesn't get this right, maybe the Silver Fang, the leader of the guards and all of, the military fist of the countesses, if this dwarf comes and Wenzel has displeased him,
Yeah.
he's very, very afraid. So he's nervous that he's gonna mess this up.
Here's the thing, Wenzel.
It's the chair. It squeaks. I can't make it do it. Of course I can't make it do it now. God damn it.
Roll deception.
Nope.
Anyway, okay,
go.
there you go. That was just kind of like a nice flute.
There it goes again.
Very distracted. Wenzel, listen. I know you're very scared right now. I know you're very anxious. You are in good hands. We are nice people. But the only way that we can help you is if you tell us everything you know about this subject. Everything that you would ever have known about this situation, you need to tell us, and that way it can ensure your safety.
If you help us, then when we go to our friend Rortan,
Rortan.
when we go to Rortan and we tell him we know this much because of Wenzel, we will not be lying because you will tell us so much.
You'll be in such high esteem for being so good at your job.
Okay, so this library is like 327 years old. And all of the books in here have been sourced, and I think that the Countess Alexandra, she has read every single book in her library.
I would absolutely
Yeah,
believe
I
that
think
she has.
last count something like 4,729 books
Of
are currently stored in this library where we
And
are.
how many of them are about the Illithid or Mind Flayers?
I've only seen 3.
Can you show us those books?
Oh no. I mean, I could check the inventory. I did. It's
Let's
been a
not
long
worry
time,
about
but
inventory. We're just hoping maybe oh, it's right here. I dusted
there's
yesterday,
one on the
but
shelf quite close to you.
I found that one, which is why I know you have very good library.
The
and
Illithid are not very common in our area.
absolutely, I would hope not. But also about the letter you gave me.
Oh, you want? I mean, you said everything. So I was starting with the
Everything
stuff
you
I know,
about
like on the top of my
what we need
head.
to speak to Rortan.
Oh, Rortan's. Do you know that his last name was Brinescar? Brinescar.
Branskar.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Do I recognize the name?
Roll history.
Nah. 11.
Roll history.
14?
Roll a second history and just tell me the number on the dice.
Oh, it's cocked. 9.
Both you and Cliff recognize the name.
Great.
Yourself from stories that you and your mother used to read about famous pirate captains.
Whoa. Brinescar. That was the name, right?
Yep.
Nice.
That, if I'm not mistaken, that's a famous pirate captain. Is he, is this Rortan part of a pirate?
Oh,
Lore?
back when he was not. Wait, alive? So I mean, like,
When-
kind of alive still, but
When
undead,
he was a
but-
wizard?
but
Yeah.
when he was not the vampire, yes, he was a pirate.
Ooh.
Dwarf pirate, very scary. Also scary now. Have I told you how scary
Uh,
Rortan is?
Yeah.
We're getting that vibe,
Yeah.
like you're
Super-
laying it out
Super
pretty
scary.
heavy.
He's
Yeah,
probably,
good.
Very clear.
and he's going to tell the countesses if I do a good job, and then
course.
maybe shoot up the list to be a vampire next.
That's what we want for you too. We all have mutual
You've been helping us,
mutual
yes,
interest.
so
Okay,
there's-
so you
how could
guys
we help
know
you?
the answer to the puzzle on the thing because Rortan says that he saw the Mind Flayer has thing, looks like magic scroll case, that is puzzle box. And the puzzle box, when Rortan captured the Mind Flayer, he had him cornered. His name is
Carrion.
Oh, you guys are the guys. So he captured him, and Carrion said a bunch of garbage stuff, and then Rortan saw the thing, and then tried to do the thing, and then they fought a bunch, and it's very embarrassing, but the Mind Flayer got the better of him and escaped.
Indeed. I do not doubt our friend Roten's abilities, but never underestimate the incredible power of the illicit.
He knows he's very sneaky. Apparently. And I think, do you guys know much about the Dark Monastery to the north?
Yes, we, however,
We've heard of
do
this.
not have its name. Is this where he found the illicit? Do you know?
With the sightless elves. Is this the right one?
We're going to find out in a second because we're going back to the duel.
Oh, nice.
At the duel.
Good job.
All right. Tibbles' turn.
Tibbles' turn.
All right, boys. Time to frickin' give her here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my bonus action again to give me 5 more temporary hit points since I lost all those.
You see Clazette wounded. Her hands shaking.
Okay. I'm also going to use my action surge, which is not a bonus action or a reaction, to give myself an additional action on my turn, which gives me an extra 2 attacks. So I have 5 attacks
Holy fuck.
with haste. And advantage on all of them from the fighting spirit I just gave myself.
And do you act before Emissary or after?
Before.
He's going Super Saiyan!
Yeah, go first for sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll.
We spend the episode talking, so it balances out.
Worry about that one later.
Goodbye, dice.
First
Make
attack.
good choices.
24. Second attack. 27. Third attack. 19.
I feel like you're hitting the corpse way down on the floor.
Fourth is 26.
He's already dead.
And fifth is 20.
So you didn't
But
even need to use
non-natural.
your advantage? Oh, you were rolling too. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you're just rolling those.
Yeah, it would not have gone nearly that well
What
without
was the fourth one? They're all hits?
They're all
They're all
hits.
All hits, cool.
The
Yeah.
lowest was a 19, which still beats her despite some of the magic stuff
Yeah.
going
Could have just done.
on. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Tibbles is very definitely, intentionally not going to kill her. He's just going to knock her out. If this works.
So
Slap her with the rapier.
everyone
Yeah.
is watching, and you can see that money is already starting to change hands in the background because every move that you make, she barely manages an attempt to parry or a move, and Tibbles.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
describe what happens here because you'll be knocking her probably unconscious, if not killing her.
Do some flips.
I'm just knocking her unconscious. It's 46 damage.
Holy wow. Somebody calling to complain
call
about
an
how
ambulance.
good you are.
Call an ambulance! Oh my god!
So describe what this looks like as you and Clazette finish these moves, and she's in the middle of the room. Everyone is like, "Oh, the steel roses, she's never lost." And then you're watching. I don't know if you understand. Do you understand gambling?
No.
Okay, so you're watching people like.
Why are they paying each other?
Yeah, I mean, Tibbles is definitely not paying attention to that. And it's it is a flurry of blows. It is hard to see what's happening at all. He almost doesn't even really appear to move all that much. The movements are so fast and accurate. But, at least 3 of them, he's like, I assume somewhere in there, he's like, we're getting pretty close. He just starts using the flat of the blade.
Yeah.
And kind of finishes with the flat of the blade along the side of her head.
Keep your fucking gloves on.
The 4th was across her ass, just a.
Do you slap her butt?
No.
Okay. You said it comes across.
Just across her face.
Just eat boob. Sorry.
You can't take these guys anywhere.
Sorry.
And she,
Off the rails.
you see her eyes sort of roll back as she takes that last hit. The blood still pouring down. And she collapses first to one knee and then just out on her back in the middle of the room. And it erupts with cheering. People are thrilled to see one of the steel roses go down, which is very exciting. They've seen duels and they've had nobles challenge each other to satisfaction. But through the summer, there hasn't been anybody who could stand up to Clayzest.
Yeah, so I assume now the haste expires and I just collapse, breathing heavily and just.
And Gordy runs over to you.
Yeah.
And Hillicar comes over to yourself and Emissary. I assume you'll kind of walk forward.
Is she unconscious?
Clayzest is unconscious, and the 2 other members of the Steel Roses come over, and they are reviving her. They've got magic and potions and all sorts of things. So they're used to this potential thing happening, although not usually to their leader, usually to the person on the other team, and then they will rush in and offer support. And so they run over to her, and they're patching her up. She seems to come to slowly, but before they can get too far in reviving her and cleaning her up, Hillicar looks over to the 2 of you. Very impressed. Yes.
Once, Tibbles catches his breath, he's like, "Oh, that was a good fight there. I actually got pretty close to getting knocked out. Closer than it's been in quite a while. So, I'd love to chat with Celeste? What was it? Something like that. This is Matt asking. Tibbles knows.
Clayzest.
Yeah, no,
All
Tibbles
sounded right.
pays attention to that stuff more than Matt does. I'd love to have a drink with her, or when, hopefully you magic gets her in good shape soon.
That was a very impressive combat.
I don't think that you really saw what we are really capable of, but I am very excited to talk more with you. And I think, and she arrives, and Clayzest stands up, and she bows for everybody, and another, polite cheer, because, she's the loser, but also has given lots of entertainment. And you see that she looks over and clocks eyes with the countesses, who bowed to her. And they are also excited at the entertainment, and they fire up the band again, and bust out more wine, and you see people pour in more staff, drinks, and then more of the desserts are being passed around. So they continue on with the party, and they clear a lot of the space out of the middle of the room and just party dance guests. Everybody is starting, they're quite tipsy, everything's getting kind of rowdy, and people are still coming over to her. And you see that some staff do some sort of fun little magic, and rather than necessarily clean up her outfit, because it's also kind of shredded and there's mending magic that would have to be done, she's actually given another gown to wear. And she does a bit of a behind closed
Cinderella
doors
twirl.
magic, and she looks fantastic again, and she's wearing a whole new outfit and being greeted by all sorts of other people who are clapping, and excited that they got to see Sir Tibbles in action. And she starts to tell word of all the other duels that she's heard that Sir Tibbles has won. And now she's on the list of long people who got a chance to challenge the Sura. The Countesses, again, greeting more people, spending more time, and they are also spending time talking to their guest from the next, well, not quite the nation next door, but farther to the south, where they've clearly come to do some important business to try to save the nation of Adarjan, which suffers so much through the Summer of Sorrow. Back in the library.
Just realized when I should have used my inspiration.
No, pay attention, Wenzel. I'm sure it's very exciting.
You
Oh my
guys can
God.
hear all the clapping as though outside something has concluded, but you don't know if it was your team that won or the other team. All you hear is just like, wow, and then polite clapping later as though other victories and wins and losses have been established.
Sounds very jovial out there. I would really love to get back to the party, but before we do that, I'd love
Super
to
wild.
just get everything we need here.
Okay.
From
So
this
you know that
charming
you guys, Rotan's going to get you to solve the
Yeah,
puzzle, and then
sure.
you're going to catch the mind flayer with Rotan. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work. He'll come. He's supposed to be here pretty
Is
soon.
he here? Yeah, okay, he's coming. Will you get him to find us immediately when he arrives?
Oh, you'll know.
Okay.
Oh, big grand entrance. Excellent.
Love those.
He doesn't usually come to the party part when anybody is sober.
Ah,
All right.
Yeah.
He is expected soon or later. Will you introduce us? Is it something he is expecting? Clandestine agents of secret mission.
No, he's kind of a all the business guy. He just likes to make an interest.
Okay.
Usually like a big explosion and then bats.
All right, very easy. That's very, very thematic,
like
very
that.
on brand.
Yeah.
Is he knows that we have this letter that?
Well, he's probably going to ask you what the answer to the clue thing is.
Great.
Great,
So
we
we're
should
gonna
figure that
start
out.
on that super right now. What is the name of the monastery to the north?
The Dark Monastery.
Just called the
just
Dark
called the Dark One.
Monastery. Great.
okay.
I mean, I see that you have a golden pass tucked into your hat, so
Yeah.
I mean, if you're so good friends with the Countesses, maybe they know more than I do.
Right. That's actually a great segue into something I wanted to ask. How do we gain favor with them? You know, like, how do we, at these parties, you know, because we only know them casually unless at balls.
Yes, less in a formal
Yeah,
setting.
so we don't really know how to interact with them at such a formal event. What would your best advice be for
Right.
us, you know, having this conversation with the Countesses? Do they want gifts? Do they like deep bows? What do they like?
Oh, they like their friends.
Yes, which we are, for sure, they're friends.
Yep.
Absolutely. But more than that, the customs of such a grand spectacle are foreign to us, and therefore help us with that.
You just let us know.
Storber of inspiration from the chat, and Wenzel starts to pick up on that maybe you do need some actual way into this. Okay, so you're
Add some
probably
wine.
It was
you're probably heroes,
Yeah.
We try to be yes.
and you're sort of alive.
Yes, for sure.
course.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to make a blood offering.
Oh, I could do that. I got a lot of it.
Sure, yeah. I have probably pretty similar amount I could chip in.
Okay. That sounds weird, but good, I guess. But you know, I think you should just be honest.
We will do that. Thank
Okay.
you. When we speak
okay.
to them.
So when you guys see Rortan, you tell him you get thumbs up from Wenzel. Then you guys are the guys, and so that's why I did this. I gave you the sheet of paper.
Yep.
You are the people who are coming to save the nation.
And you gave us a lot of very important information.
Yeah, you
You're
know,
fantastic.
we're so
To our
close.
success.
We were so close to catching. Also, you guys knew that some of the humans are having weird dreams around the
Yeah,
town.
sexy dreams. What? Are we? No. What? That's what I heard. I could be wrong.
No,
It was 3 copper.
Oh, yeah.
Different flavor because of this one.
Right.
What are the dreams that are being
No,
had
you
here?
tell us. I don't know
We
anything.
just arrived in town from another place.
they're having, just bad dreams about
different.
yeah, just like they don't sleep very good and they're having all nightmares, but like bad things about their own lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, it's been, I've had a lot of wine. Cool. Okay, so they have bad dreams about.
But the vampires don't sleep, so they don't dream the same.
Right.
You know? So
There's
They're
that.
not
and
having-
the summer of sorrow is very sad, and the nightmares are really bad. So
Yes.
Quick question. Let's walk and talk, and I'll kind of like walk him towards the exit of the library and be like, my friend Wenzel, do the vampires, can they go out in the daylight easier with the clouds
sometimes, yes.
when it is only very, very heavy?
Oh yes, the summer of sorrow meant a little more outside activity.
Right, of course. Very beneficial, I'm sure, for them to have more time to explore the world. That
Yeah, but then
is
you go
often-
out at night, and then the mind flayer gets your teeth, and then it's really bad.
Right.
So-
So
Right.
there is, and that's happening right here in city.
Yes, very bad.
Okay, excellent. And I'll kind of like out the library, and I'll be like, we will reconvene when is necessary for the mission, and like close the door, leaving us in the library.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
hello, this place. No.
Oh, wow. Okay, lots of information. Got to solve a puzzle. How are you at puzzles? There's so many things!
Get back to you guys outside.
We're just
Freaking each other out. You're just like nod, nod, nod. Ah! So the door closes, and outside, everybody's cheering. People are coming over. They want to talk to both of you about, how many duels have you been in. People are greeting you, and you see that the countesses have sat at a table that's large and clearly set for them, and they are drinking wine and talking to their dignitaries that have come to the party, and the people are really getting into it. It's lots of dancing, lots of cheering, lots of drink.
Tibbles is gonna go find Celeste. Why can't I remember her name?
Clezest.
Clayzest. Oh my god.
Spicy clay.
Yeah. Zesty clay.
Got it. Zesty Clay.
And of course,
Easy enough. She's nearby. Yep, in her new dress.
Yeah. That was a great fight. It has been a very long time since, in a one-on-one fight, anyone has managed to lay more than one blow on me. I'm quite impressed. I would love for us to get the chance to fight side by side at some point.
It is an honor. She pulls a large glass of wine for herself and one for you that she passes to you.
Clink.
I hope that we meet again.
Indeed. Yeah. To better times. Let's clink again. Yeah. There we go. Have you met Gordy? I give him a little lap from.
I've heard much about your travels with Gordy. And I am very curious, what are you doing in Adarjan?
Funny story. I'm not actually here all that much by choice. Did you hear about goings on in Valemos recently? Lots of.
No.
Oh, it's hard for news to get around these days. So, lots of heroes were just randomly being teleported to Valemos, and I was among them, and pretty much all the rest ones are dead. Heroes teleported, brains removed. It was pretty crazy, but we went and put an end to that, and now we're coming here to see if there's anything else we can help out with. Doing the traveling hero thing.
We defeated one incubus and 2 succubi.
Very exciting.
They were taking the brains from the people being transported to Valemos.
Wow.
But
They're all, the Steel Roses are just like all impressed and kind of hanging around, hoping that, there seem to be your friends.
I would
Part of the
like
party.
to do an
A couple of them are
insight
very,
check.
they're noticing that you have a griffin strapped to your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't put him down.
I would like to do an insight check on Clayzest just to see, do I feel like she's genuinely asking these things, or is she suspiciously prying for information?
Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I take it in the face.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Yeah.
1.
Did you just?
No, I didn't but I went from a 5 to a 4. So in total, it's a.
So
Do I have to use the second one with an inspiration roll, or
you
okay?
can pick the higher.
Yeah.
So it's 10.
So you feel like she seems genuinely interested in your quest. Hillikar is very interested in the griffin.
Yes, in the tower of Vale, where the incubus and succubi were, we found this egg, and it hatched in the swamps when we met.
Its name is Bruce.
No,
It responds to Bruce. It likes it.
it does not
It's a good name.
It says it does respond to Bruce because you click. You're cheating.
Yeah, training.
Meta question: do we know whether this griffin is a male or female?
What's your animal handling?
I mean,
Mine's very strong.
I'm assuming we would have figured it out. Here's my question for how my animal handling is does it lift a leg to pee, or does it squat?
It squats.
Okay. But not necessarily an answer.
No,
My dog's
male
squat.
dogs also
I'm still
squat.
gonna give it a Nope.
I'll roll my animal handling.
You guys can also roll your animal
I got
handling.
My animal handling, it's 23. my
Okay,
roll.
to know who uses he and she when they refer to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mine was bad.
Roll
I have,
advantage.
I
briefing.
have a +6. I got 8.
You know what?
Yeah, 24.
You both refer to him as he.
Okay.
Mostly based not necessarily on actually being able to flip any feathers.
Yeah, because bird. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they
Bird
particular?
anatomy is interesting.
Are griffins particularly sexually dimorphic?
You get the impression that down there, it seems to be, as it gets older in particular, you can kind of tell it's a guy.
Has its testicles descended yet?
Yeah, really.
Starting. It's still young. It's just a little
Okay.
and it's very feathery down
If
there.
you're just
and
tuning
fluffy.
in,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
Chaos magic.
It's mostly like, the bottom half is just very fluffy, and the top half is more the bird part.
Yeah.
But there's still some less conventional. It's not just lion bottom.
Yeah. I mean, Bruce is a good name either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
the other people in your group who seem to know more about these things are refer to it as him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
Bruce.
they've also let you know that the females tend to be larger, more like birds,
Is that a griffin thing?
like eagles.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a griffin thing in Altero.
Cool.
Deciding right now.
All made up.
And then what was the question?
Like the position of it. No.
And Hildegard was asking, what was the question?
Hillicar.
Well, yeah, sure. Sorry. I'm just
Hil-
going with the closest facsimile of an actual name that I know.
Hildegard.
It's a real name of this extremely real character.
Yep.
Her name is
Word.
Hillicar, and she's just chatting with you about the griffin because she's very curious.
Ah, yes. I was actually looking for some meat. So when he gets out, he might start destroying things.
Just ask them.
Who should I ask?
And she like looks over at some guy and who's got a tray full of drinks, and she's just like, he's like, this guy needs raw meat, and he's like, and like toddles off. He'll be back.
Yeah, the
rich
golden
man.
ticket pretty much means those people will get you whatever you ask for.
Oh,
Within reason.
Also,
Like, they
I
have to
mean,
have it.
You just dueled the steel roses in front of
Yeah.
everyone at the party. It's sort of a big deal.
I mean, I didn't do. It was Tibbles.
That would not have gone the same way it did without your support, bud. That was a team effort. We made a good team there.
I'm
My,
very impressed. In fact, I'll do one magic favor for you.
Tibbles actually has, like, when he said we made a good team, kind of I don't know if Emissary would notice, but other people might.
Roll anything.
Bit of a sorrowful look.
Oh. 17.
Yeah, you can. There's. It's reminding him of something sad.
Back in the library.
Okay, everybody calm down. Just us in here, quiet, more maybe secret. If,
Bleh.
okay, if anybody walks in, let's do like office party, like, oh shit, sorry, and get out of here so nobody suspects
Yeah.
us. And as I'm saying this, I'm gonna like stuff that book, about the elephant, like in my pocket, like
Yeah.
as if it's not even a thing. I found these books too. One on druid staffs. I don't know how you are about like. I find these keepers. Like.
Yeah, let's steal it.
Okay, great.
As a second thing goes in your pocket, I cocoon triggers.
Okay, yeah, and he'll just come out holding it.
And has the new book and the glint in its eye.
Yeah. 2. So 2 in non-combat is the. This is old. Yeah, we gotta go way back. Where did I put? Oh, I don't have my piece of paper on me. All
You just have to do your best guess.
2 would be Kirkun, I guess, is going to. He wants to party. First time he ever like came to life, there was music. We were partying, and
Right.
last time he came out here, there was a huge party. Now we're in like a dark, dusty room. With
Cocoon
party.
does not like
Cocoon
the no party vibe in here,
Yeah.
and so Cocoon jumps out, tosses the book down like mad, like kicks it a little bit.
The books, what are you,
And then just starts like pulling a couple of books off the shelves and looking at you really mad, and then just starts like party lights going.
Yeah. I'll
Just
reach.
like-
I'll reach in the pocket and I'll pull out from the Tower of Veil the little like music box, which I'd like to think I'd spent a little bit of time
you did.
fiddling with over the 2 weeks, and I'll just kind of like.
Cocoon is totally just like one leg up.
Yeah.
And completely entertained by this. And so you guys can continue your conversation, but in the background,
Yeah, we're just kind of doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think you are right about the note that we find. Seed the field for my battles. Maybe this is about the pregnancies?
That's what I was thinking. Like, there's a lot of, halted pregnancies in the Summer of Sorrow, and there's some
A staff member opens the door just to peek in and sees like,
We're just making out. We're making out. Leave.
and then the music and the little like robot dancing and just like
This is what I'm into.
slowly closes the door and leaves.
You just back right back to it.
Yeah. I'll look over and Cocoon will have stopped, like maybe like a minute ago, and be like, I still kind of like it. Sorry about that. Don't tell my wife. And I am the Lord of the Weeping. I think you are very smart to think that this is cause of Summer of Sorrow.
Yeah, like
Very
whoever
poetic.
is directly causing the Summer of Sorrow would be like the
Yes.
Lord of the sadness, the
Yeah, the
weeping.
controlling
Yeah.
the sadness, which would be amplified perhaps by pregnancies being halted. The eyeless ones will bow. The sightless elves.
to the
Yes,
north,
I think this is maybe them. And they are serving some greater master, perhaps because our friend Roten go to north to find Illithid, to find Carrion, then he maybe is working out of monastery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if we head north along road, then we might run into this thing, which is very scary. Who also holds, our friend said, puzzle box? And I think the last part of letter says, I am Carrion, I am your 6 letters. Not perfect without context to puzzle.
Yeah.
Perhaps the puzzle will be 6 letters.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That we will have to make up a we'll have a 6-letter word
For puzzle.
for puzzle.
Yes.
Is it just? What if it's just puzzle?
You are very smart.
I know.
Mind blown. Outside. The party is getting really intense. So smart. So smart. We're in the next scene. Everyone. So
Just trying things, guys.
It was awesome.
there are no
Until it
wrong
wasn't.
answers on this whiteboard. The main party has hit
We'll try it, maybe.
super party zone out
When
here.
you feel dumb.
And the countesses have risen from their table. And they move out into the middle of the area, so everybody is sort of around. It looks really quite. You see them nod, and in particular, Desislava, she is shaking hands with the man from Neslenko, and he is looking like he's finally accepting drinks, and the party is catching up to the rest of the guests in terms of the general feel around the countesses. So whatever politics they've been working on has also been successful for them. And you see just a sense of relaxation and relief come across them. Not that kind, but still observable. And across the room, everybody else that was invested in what was the duel has now lost interest a little bit because they're continuing to drink and party and have a great time. And the countesses signal to the band to really kick it up a notch. And out comes a round of champagne for everyone.
Has that meat arrived?
Yes. And it looks like it's probably boar.
Great. I'm just gonna take it over, like.
No, nice
to-
way of asking that.
yeah. To some sort of. I don't want to be. If there's dancing, also that
I
would make
will not
Emissary
be
really
tipping.
uncomfortable. So I'll probably move away from the dancing because not really getting how to do that.
It's probably better for you to have that happen outside. You know, Bruce is not the cleanest eater, and it might be off-putting to some of the less experienced people around us. They tend to, you know, these wealthy, like nobles,
I will trust you, Tibbles.
yeah, they
Okay.
And is there like a tray?
They weren't sure what to bring, so they brought you a very fancy plate with cuts of various boar pieces laid out in a charcuterie.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And I'll just take that with the griffin on the back and I'm heading out. front.
So you guys are headed to a quiet area of the main foyer.
And that was the last we saw Emissary and
And then they all died. And in the middle of the room, as the countesses are passing out champagne, and you see them raise a glass, and Desislava kisses her wife on the cheek, and Alexandra raises her glass. To our very wonderful partners in this liquor. And everybody cheers, and everyone drinks, and everyone who has, have you guys joined?
We'll rejoin
You
after
come
the
out,
little.
and
Like, we
as you
totally
come
know what's
out-
going on. Yeah.
As you come out, you see that there are champagne flutes for everyone, and they are celebrating. And then a bit of a hush comes over the crowd as fog just fills the room. And as it comes up through everyone's feet, bats explode from the center of the room, and landing with landing with just like a force of explosion. It is all black, silver, and gray. It's a very grizzled dwarf arrives in the center of the room with the pallor of undeath about him, and his black beard is streaked with gray, and his hair is long and glorious, but also streaked with a great gray stripe through it. And he's wearing all black leather, but with pieces of silver embroidered throughout it, and the two moons represented, but both in silver. And a big gray cloak that kind of flaps out around him as he explodes to everyone.
Like it's like a Beatles concert.
And people are just like, Silverfang! And Rotan just like kicks over a chair and he's like, let's party! And everybody's like, woo! Yeah, right? And he's doing it a lot for show. Everybody roll insight if you're looking at him. And so you hear him arrive probably, but I think you're outside just giving a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emissary is going to want to see this guy. Natural 20.
20.
Yeah.
Not enough.
8.
You're too busy pushing buttons on the
it's
music box.
malfunctioning, but it's like kind of sick.
It's actually making it cooler. You just made the entrance for him like amazing. Even better than usual. But the two of you are noticing that he's clocking eyes with the countesses, and this is more show, right? They're doing the party is extravagant and fabulous, so that other people are noticing that there is concern in the way that he looks forward to both of the countesses. And he grabs a drink from the passing tray, little glass goblet that is clearly filled with the blood and not the wine, and he downs it and looks out across everybody, raises his glass again, and then more drinks come out for everyone. And he quickly walks over to the countesses, but does his best to make eye contact with everyone that he needs to greet. And as he steps, his
very
cloak just seems to just like shake out from underneath him, and more just mist everywhere he walks. He's just using magic to make a show of his approach. Yeah.
Tibbles
Really attractive.
goes over to Gordy. Tibbles goes over to Gordy, pulls out a little bit of parchment and like a charcoal stick, and just writes, "Cool vampire dwarf." Rolls it up, puts it in his thing, and says, "Go find Emissary. Give him that."
Gordy just like screeches to a halt in front of you and licks your face.
Just imagining you like outside, like.
I'm made of rock. I'm not scared. If anything is tossing it up and he catches it.
Just gnawing on your arm, like, that's fine.
Sharpen his beak.
And as Gordy comes over to you, it kind of spooks you a little bit, but it also, not in a bad way, but like suddenly there's this other cute animal thing coming at you, and all of this affection, it triggers your cannon.
Oh, crap. Right.
Gordy. Oh, shit.
Affection.
Ooh. 17. So
Gordy also cleans up any of the extra meat that's around and cheeses.
Naturally.
there's no extra.
And he looks up at you and he just sort of goes, And he sneezes, and then, a couple of flowers come up under the ground. All around you.
I'm gonna pick one and just sort of put it in my.
Oh, nice.
Nice. It's kind of a
I've seen some people inside with it.
white rose.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really pretty. And
As if from Cheyenne.
they grow up here. And you are faced with Gordy, who has a little message for you.
What does it say? Cool vampire dwarf?
Oh. Go, back inside.
Get the griffin.
Bit of menagerie. Yes.
Yeah, and
His name is Bruce.
fighting that. And head back in.
Bruce is gonna have to be his middle name. Okay, so you head back in, and as you come back in,
Nameless bee griffin.
and you meet up with your crew.
Okay. Couple things. That guy, we have a lot of information about that guy, Rotan. We really need to talk to him. He's very attractive and very important. So
Right.
we should probably have a little plan. Or you should just let me and Storber talk to him because we have like a bunch of information about it. Oh, did you win?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sick, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
man,
was
that is-
pretty. It was a little touch and go. I was down pretty low, but pulled it through in the end, and it was a good show.
Yeah,
I'm sad I
apologies
missed
to
it.
miss it, Sir Tibbles.
How was that funny little guy? He seemed pretty cool.
Wenzel, he was interesting.
Cool,
You found
Yeah.
Helpful.
Very.
We're going to tell everybody that it was because we feel kind of bad for him, but no, he was helpful. He gave us the
Great
thing that he
energy.
was supposed to. Yeah, good
Yeah.
energy, good vibes.
Good vibes.
Seemed like a nice fella. I hope.
Did you
I
give
don't know.
him
I hope he gets what he wants, but he wants to be vampire. Sorry.
Did you give him the letter?
Yes.
Yeah, that's-
he completed
weird.
our letter. Gave us the other side of both segments of what we have, which is what we are to give to Rotan.
I think-
I just kind of I don't like pull them out. I maybe actually I will kind of
Yeah, I
like
see it.
hold them like that and kind of like eyes on Rotan like
What if they said that we needed to talk to the countesses like a blood sacrifice? Would it be cool or really dorky if I came up with a little blood of mine for Rotan and tried to charm?
I mean, you seem pretty into that, so I don't want to get in your way. I think we got a pretty good in if Sir Tibbles.
Could I
Oh,
see-
that's a good idea, Sir
If
Tibbles.
Sir Tibbles.
Yeah, I mean, you
is a
can keep
winner,
that in your back pocket,
But- I mean, whatever
Listen.
you want.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all are.
How and maybe I don't know. Is there sometimes a customary gift for great champion of Duel? Is perhaps 2 buckets of hair too much to ask?
I see the other part.
Oh yes.
Normally it's just kind of an honor thing, but we can try.
I mean, you're a fucking legend, buddy. You just beat Steel Ross leader.
I mean,
I think
Party around you. Everyone's celebrating so hard.
And the party music starts to get even more exciting. Everybody is the party, and the countesses are encouraging it because they want to distract everybody from their private meeting with Rotan.
We should interrupt that meeting. No? Is it a bad idea? That's probably a bad idea.
Well, I think we might linger. I think let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
Because
it.
we can, I can take letter to
Yeah.
Rotan. He'll probably want to be like, well, not here.
Yeah.
You guys talk to countesses, or you come with me. You guys talk to countesses.
Countesses said they would speak with me later.
Oh.
I'm waiting for them.
Oh, in this magic circle when the big he's going to die thing happened.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's good. That's good.
I was not fearful of death.
You never are. You've probably never been super sick or
how much can we tell about Clayzest's
Super sick.
social position here? Is she a potential person to introduce us to them?
Yes.
Okay.
If anything, now that you've watched more interact with them, Hillikar is probably a better bet for you.
I think the duel went the way it went, but Clay Zest and I are on pretty good terms. We had a nice drink after, and her and not Hildegard.
Hildekar.
Hillikar.
Whatever.
Right, Brooklyn?
Tibbles got it right first time. This is all me. They appear to be from very high social standing here and can probably introduce us.
Awesome. Are we brave enough to? Do we want to do it all together? 1-2 combo.
I think we should just have them introduce the four of us. I think
Let's do it.
it'd be more awkward and suspicious to us, like, individually. Now we're just presented as traveling hero type people.
Great. Yes, I agree entirely. I follow your lead. These are your crowd, your people.
So
Be behind you.
you approach Hillikar,
Yeah.
who's drinking and talking to people, having a great time. She looks like if she bobs to the music, it's 9 time.
I come up, I'm
Relate.
bobbing a little bit to the music, and I've got my drink, and Hillikar, cheers. I didn't get a chance to talk to you directly after the duel, but I was wondering.
Stumbles a little bit as she like turns back.
Yes. Might you be able to introduce us to the countesses? We would love to talk to them, and it just seems more polite and, appropriate to have an introduction, and you are clearly an important person here.
So important.
Oh, I haven't met the rest of your group. You're
This-
like Steel Roses. You are traveling duelists.
Yeah. Yes. Duelists.
Little bit.
Occasion.
We dabble.
I do more of the dueling. Together, we fight more people than just a duel. But we're all on the same.
Slayed the succubus and incubi with.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the great tale of Vale.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is Storber, a fascinating and brilliant inventor.
Greetings. It is an absolute pleasure to see you and meet you again, but much more formally this time. It is an honor to be in the presence of such as great in the Steel Roses. And
I have read your book.
you have read my books. You dabble in the academic. Apologies, there are other people to meet, but we must catch up, absolutely.
You have some fascinating theories. I mean, a little bit out there.
Well, that is all just like subjective, of course. I mean, we will talk more about what is out there later.
You're wild. And your other friend.
And this is Elagh. She is a sage and feisty druid.
She's not really sure what to do with the handout. She's a bit like,
I'm Elagh.
She's a bit new to the court circle type thing. Not all. Most traveling adventurers, they are not particularly familiar with court politics and.
hats of choice.
Yes, and I stand by it.
Yeah, feisty, like I said. Quirky as well. She's got a great sense of humor.
I hear
she
you were talking through the hat
talks
earlier.
about walruses sometimes. Very entertaining.
And I mean, we kind of hear a bit about you guys. If it cursed hat, I remove curse.
You were. You remove purse?
Do you want 50?
I don't know.
And immediately you hear Cliff. She is a bitch. What the absolute Elagh? You're just going to get rid of me? Elagh, I am offended. How have we not bonded?
I thank you for your offer, but I think
You should shoot her. Kick her in the shins.
I'm not gonna shoot her.
Talk about
I
her.
stop it.
She has
Cliff,
one
I-
eyebrow,
I
Elagh.
will
She
handle this.
speaks with the voice inside
Cliff,
of
I will
that.
handle this. Cliff,
His name is Cliff.
I'm just saying, you don't need to live with it.
Yeah.
but
It's
don't
just-
you like it though? Like imagine.
But you can still keep the hat. Just get rid of the voice. And the curse. Curses are bad.
well, you
Could
know.
you make it so that she can take it off, but still talk to Cliff when she chooses?
I don't know.
Oh,
All I know is we can make it so you can't take it off?
no.
It's
What?
no.
Stands by
I'm
the
gonna
choice.
lift. I'm gonna lift by the hat.
I just go
You
stiff as
just
the
hear
floor.
Cliff continuing to yell out like, that dog-faced woman, she's going to, what is the, she's going to separate us, Elagh, and you'll never know the treasure. And what about Starfish? And Cliff starts to bawl.
Okay. Don't worry. Don't
sorry.
you worry. Thank you. Thank you for your offer. Very gracious, very kind. I have unfinished business
With your hat.
with the hat. Reserve your judgment. Okay.
I'm just saying, as someone who used to be cursed myself.
What was your curse?
She was a werewolf.
Oh yeah, I remember from that. Yeah. I think you're very beautiful the way you are, though. You look
I murdered my family, but thank you.
How did you cure yourself of the lycanthropy?
I got very fortunate. Steel roses.
Oh,
Someone had the wish spell.
my curse isn't that bad. It's pretty
I,
mild.
maybe, if you want the freedom from the hat, maybe we can put Cliff into something else and you can still talk to him because clearly, you've bonded, you're friends, but you don't, you can,
The mouse
decide
is
your
a
own.
liar too, Elagh. The mouse. Don't trust anyone with fur.
Is there a way for, if Cliff is maybe real, to see if he is someone who we could get out of Griffin?
What was that? Let's put them in the griffin.
Can we do that?
I'm sorry, Rob.
This
going on the
is all
redemption
very.
That's gonna cost a lot of points.
I really appreciate all of this advice and suggestions. I really do. But I think we have more pressing matters
course, yes, the
than what I
Countesses.
choose to wear on my head. I choose
But
and
it is
forced
not a
to.
choice.
Listen, I will tell you what my choices are.
You tried to take it
Emissary.
off, and you could not.
But now I don't want to. So just
That seems
back up,
convenient.
everyone.
Yeah, it
Back
wasn't
up.
the choice with the on, but it's a choice to keep it.
Exactly.
And that is the important part.
And
But-
without our freedoms, who are we?
Everybody's really drunk at the party.
Perhaps Morgard, let's. We would like
For you.
the Countesses. You were gonna give us introductions.
Yeah. Okay, so sexy elf wants to keep the hat. Whatever, fine.
Sexy elf.
Do you know
Okay.
Lortan Silverfang?
The guy who just showed up in the Cloud of Bats.
Cool vampire dwarf. That's Silverfang.
Yes, he's the captain of the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also the guy who murders anybody the Countesses say needs to die. So, do I know? We all know.
Is he more approachable than the Countess?
What do you? Do you have to talk to him?
I have not. I was about to.
And she just kind of like laughs hysterically and like wanders away from you guys and like nudges a couple of the other steel roses to be like, they're gonna do it.
You've had surprisingly good luck with cranky dwarves before, so maybe you should talk to Rortan and see what you can do there, and we'll talk to while we talk to the countesses.
Perhaps, yeah.
The countesses were they called me rude. You were right. They said it was rude. But they did say that this is all a charade and that we will talk later. Once the party is over, I assume.
Yeah, if you can,
we can wait in the library until the party's over.
Maybe you
Hang
can
Altero.
get
Quite nice
on
in there, so it's great.
Rortan's good side, and that can only be helpful, right? Divide and conquer, as they say. You do that. We'll get the countesses a little buttered up, and then we'll all get together. Like once they decide that it's safe to have more important discussions without worrying about all the people around us.
All right.
Don't go to a second location without me.
No, of course. No, when it's time to have the important conversations, we all need the information.
Never go to a second location. What is happening today?
I know.
Everybody looks so nice.
I will speak.
Everyone looked.
It is a disguise. I will. This is live. I will speak with Rotan. Could I take the letter?
I will go with you because I have important information I need answered. I have a lot
I
of
will-
context for his foe,
I will go with you because I think he's sexy.
his quarry.
Wait. Sounds like we are all going. Tibbles, are you coming?
I'll go talk to the countesses.
Let's see if we can get those locks of hair. I think that it's going to be a big problem later for us if we don't do something about it, and we haven't really addressed it at all. Beak is probably here somewhere, that's likely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Beak knows what's going on right now.
Yeah, like probably won money on that bit.
I don't think we can do anything without Beak knowing what we're doing.
Right, of course.
I agree entirely.
You mean business?
I mean business.
And the three of you approach Rortan, who is currently slamming
Best of luck, friend.
blood into wine and then drinking it, and then like blood into wine, drinking.
Done that.
So, okay. And he's
Part of that second
partying,
location
and then over
thing.
here the countesses and Tibbles. You can come over to the countesses, and we will do a quick back and forth between these two groups with all of the info and conversations that you need to have. And we'll start first with Tibbles approaching the countesses, who are thrilled that you have come over to them. They have, their man standing nearby who is making sure that the approach is good, otherwise he'd trigger a shield. And as you walk up, no problems approaching them.
Yeah, I take my hat off and do a very courtly bow.
You do not bow to us, Tibbles.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say.
You're a guest at the ball that we throw here, and you provide all entertainment.
We provide a lot of entertainment. We have a wide range of talents. That is true. It's great to meet you. Obviously, you're aware that we're here not for the ball. I would not presume to suggest that you don't have that good of spies, I think.
Tibbles, we know all about it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that you and your friends will join the Rortan on the quest north.
Oh, sure. He's coming with us. Cool.
Well, I
it's-
don't think that anyone can kill the Mind Flayer ahead of him because he has scored a 7.
That's fair. I get that. Also, always good to have a local with you when you're traveling. So, sounds great.
Tibbles, do you have questions for us? Because there's only limited time. Where do you need to go?
Well, you know, first, biggest question. Is there anything useful you can tell us?
Alexandra looks to you. I do not know what you know.
What? I didn't actually hear that.
I don't know what you know. We know you are heroes, and you're going to travel to the north.
Well, we know that.
You're going to catch the Mind Flayer and end the Summer of Sorrow.
Yeah, and you know we have a letter with some clues, but you probably know about that since we had to talk to Wenzel, and he is one of your people.
You go to find the elves at the Dark Monastery.
Okay, yep, knew that.
What do you know about the elves?
What should I roll?
Just roll history, and if you recall anything from your travels.
16.
You know about the eyeless ones. Have you ever shared your dreams with him?
No, not about the ice.
With a 16, what you've heard is mostly from the research that you have from Cheyenne.
You know, I know a little bit about there. So, the thing that concerns me the most, and you might be able to help us with, is what do you know about Beak?
Much. Do not deal with that creature.
Yeah, I got that feeling.
How is Beak involved?
Well, you know, Beak approached us.
And what has he asked you of?
Well, I'd like to know a little more about Beak before.
Creature that makes requests and then delivers, which is so much worse.
And have you had dealings with Beak?
Oh, we have made very many dealings, and then never really felt that their return was worth it.
Yeah, that was definitely the impression I got. I am
What will
uncomfortable.
What will Beak give you?
Beak claims to give us the answers we need to end the Summer of Sorrow.
We will help you. Make your request.
Beak wants a lock of each of your hair.
They look towards each other as though this might not be the first time. You guys approach Borchan, who is slamming back bloody wine.
Cool. In Dwarvish, I will say,
Hail, Rodan, Silverfang, Captain of the Guard and man of legend, dwarf of legend. I am Emissary. I have heard that you may be able to help us.
And he looks to you and kind of that snarl and shows that the tooth that's missing is replaced with a silver fang. And he answers back to you in Dwarvish. Now, you have the answer to the puzzle. Let's go. We're going to kill Mind Flayer.
Right now.
He crashes one of his glass goblets to the floor. What the fuck are we waiting for?
I like this dwarf.
Do you want to kill the Mind Flayer with me or not?
Yes.
Well,
Is he just? Are you still speaking Dwarvish? Do I understand?
Still speaking Dwarvish.
Okay.
He assumes you
No
all
idea
speak
what's
Dwarvish.
happening.
Sorry, they do not speak dwarf.
back in common.
Rodan wants to leave now to slay the Mind Flayer.
quiet her, baby. We received the letters and we have deciphered a part of it, but I fear we do not have all the information that we need. And you and your experience with Carrion might help us.
Who is this king?
He also spits on the floor.
And it's like bloody and gross.
It's like a
Little,
big bloody gob. Like his mouth is still full of the blood that trickles down his chin.
We believe.
It doesn't. Wenzel wants to solve the puzzle, and the Countess is known to know more. I don't care. We'll kill the mind flayer, and that will be done.
What puzzle are we speaking of?
The puzzle inside the letter.
He's got a stupid puzzle box, and I think it probably saves the elves. I don't give a shit about the elves.
Mind Flayer has the puzzle box.
Yes, presumably still. And he's probably just escaped like the snake he is. And he's traveled north to the monastery with the elves, and we're going to go there, and we're going to kill him.
Yes,
into that.
yeah, like we're definitely here to explore that avenue. If you are going to join us, we would be
We'll
honored.
kill the mind flayer. We'll end the summer of sorrow.
That
And
is-
I mean, I
do
don't give
not
a shit
think
about
that
some
will-
stupid sightless elves who put fucking candles in their eyes.
That might not
It's
be
gross.
That's
the
pretty
end
gross.
of it. Yeah. Have you heard? Fuck. Child of the grave, teeth of the dead, mind of the brave, heart of the wed. Bring
No.
back our. No. There's more to it. Bring back our sister. Bring back our blood. Bring back our shadow. Take back our love.
It doesn't ring a bell.
So this describes teeth of the dead, vampire teeth.
Are you staring at my teeth?
No,
I
I know that vampires have had their teeth removed by a mind flayer. There were brains being taken from heroes transported to Velmos, which is where we met. But we killed one incubus and two
Okay, so I'm hearing you're going to.
They are spell components.
we are.
You have spells. I have spells.
They were.
You have swords. I have weapons.
There's something bigger than just a mind flayer working here.
The mind flayer
As a
is the
gr-
result of death vampires. Only I kill vampires.
What?
He's just a car of the vampire lords here. Justice knows no boundaries to kill vampires or people who stand against countesses. This is Great Rotar's role here.
If a vampire breaks our laws, I kill. If a human breaks our laws, I kill. Don't
Absolutely.
know what you are, but you apply too. All of you break our laws. I kill you.
We are here.
The mind flayer breaks our laws.
They
I will
bit.
kill him.
No respect.
He like grabs another glass of wine and just smashes it to the ground.
The stuff.
I'm gonna do the same.
Cocoon sneaks out of your bag.
Great. I had some nice cups in there.
And Rortan is like, come, so we go.
Oh, we have another one of us. I don't know if you watched the duel earlier. I don't think you hadn't entered yet because the whole big entrance. But our friend Sir Tibbles is talking to the Countesses right now, and he is also part of our group. He's an amazing duelist. He beat the other
Lady
dueler.
Calzas.
Anyway, yeah. In short, Yep.
Oh, yes, I must speak with the countesses before we leave.
Good. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll like
He
saddle
like
up
just storms
to him.
over to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are probably following.
See, I like this dwarf.
He just storms over to them and he's like, hey! Let's go already. Do the circle. And they look over at him and they're like, they look, Tibbles. Slava. Rotan. Silver Fang. Tibbles. Winner of the duel.
Pleased to meet you.
Rotan is on an important mission. Rotan will go north to Dark Monastery and will end the life of the Mind Flayer at our bidding. Rotan, check yourself. And we are going to use a strong wizard spell to teleport all of you north.
that's exciting. Lock of hair.
Oh, have you spoke? Oh, yes, we have been entered against our will into an agreement with the creature Beak. And we were requested to attain locks of your hair, but it seems you've spoken.
The countesses have a quick huddle between the two of them. They're clearly uncomfortable with the request.
Fair.
Roll persuasion.
Can I roll persuasion?
Yes, you can.
Sweet.
I'm not going to try.
Yeah, we haven't talked. It's weird. Weird.
Yeah.
Just playing with his
I'm
hair.
going to use Bend Luck. And
Tell me more about that. Dang.
so that is non-natural 20.
13.
They seem to be nodding in your direction, but your plea is so earnest. They both look towards Rortan, who pulls a dagger. Slices from each of them a braid from Lexandra and a long, glorious curl from Desislava, and tosses them both towards you. Hair. Check. Stupid puzzle thing. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Check.
I'd like to have recited this thing to them and asked them if they've heard it before as well.
He's like storming off towards the direction of the library, and then the countesses are hearing you. We've never heard this before.
Yes,
It sounds like the Weavers.
the Weavers. Oh, yes, we know of the
The sisters.
sisters, yes.
But they are not. I mean, they are hags. But near Moyak. But they are not evil.
Well, it seems
They
that-
are dreamers. They cause dreams.
Yes, we all had. Well, I didn't. There were dreams in Vailmos of whenever someone would die and have their brain removed. People had amorous dreams of being murderous. Amorous, murderous dreams. Hashtag.
I had to, sorry.
The sisters are each prophecy, nightmare, daydreams. They are hope and fear, but in healthy ways. But if they have been corrupted, that could be where you should go.
In your great knowledge, where did they stay there? Is there
They have always been north, east, west. Good at directions to the northwest. But they are traveling on a snail near Moyak.
So we can catch them.
I think so. But I don't know now. We had not heard from them in many years.
many years?
It sounds like maybe all connected.
Wait, you've heard from them. So they are real.
All monsters are real.
We were told that they might have been just legend.
So vampires? So werewolf?
I'm not a werewolf.
Just pointing across to Hillicar.
Dancing like crazy.
Yeah. Your guy at the top button, just like, oh, heck yeah. That high top button. Look out, world! But you can hear the sounds of the prep of a spell.
Countesses, ladies, it has been a tremendous honor in your presence, and you have granted us a great boon to help us along our way. I hope one day that we will be able to offer you a great gift in return, so that your reign over these lands may happen in clear night skies, as the end of the summer of sorrow will be at our hand and your pleasure. And I'll deeply bow and kind of like step back and be like, this guy knows about the Elagh.
Weren't, Didn't you say you were going to say nice things about that Wenzel? Like, he's a pretty good egg. He helped you.
He's gone.
Wenzel,
Yeah, I'm gone, yeah.
For the record, Wenzel, great, very helpful, provided us with a lot of information, really kickstarted this whole evening of figuring out things. Really wants to be a vampire, really looks up to y'all and Rortan and all of them. Just high recommendations, 5 out of 5 stars. Would recommend to my friends.
Glowing praise.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked that guy. He was a funny little fellow.
Did you meet him?
He came in when we first got there.
Wenzel?
Yeah. Didn't I see him right at the beginning? And then they went off and we did our thing?
He followed us around
well.
when you guys were starting the duel.
I have a +8 to
Regardless.
perception, so I was paying attention.
Regardless,
You're like, I'm getting ready to kill, but...
the Countesses
I wasn't getting ready to kill. I was getting ready to do a friendly duel.
they say their goodbyes in the best way that they can, which is to welcome you back any time of your choice to a monster hunt. And they send you on your way as you're following quickly, shepherded away by a couple of people, some guards, some staff. They are like, you gotta get going because Rotan's going to go without you. And they shuffle you into the library where he is smashing bottles onto the floor. He's got like a big piece of chalk that glows a really strange bright blue. And he's making shapes and he's doing all sorts of crazy motions across the floor. And then suddenly he stops. And he reaches out with his 2 hands. One up. Second up. And then he just steps into the circle and poosh, and it fires to life. And he's created a teleportation circle to the north. And he stops and looks towards all of you and he says, "Get in, losers!" And he walks forward into the spell and disappears.
Pull out my gun and be like, wish we had some warmer clothes. I guarantee you. And I'll like kind of pop my hat back on my head out of the pocket.
Yeah, I
Kinda
just
look
like
to Elagh.
clip clop, clip clop, clip clop in my heels.
Here's your stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody ready?
Could have
Your rally's ready to go.
meditation time, but okay.
And I'll just kind of step into it.
You hear the sound of ice cracking as all of you cross forward into the portal to the north. And we're going to find out what happens next time!
Wow.
Everybody, we will be back in a month. There's some human stuff we got to deal with. Blah, it's blah. But it's okay because we'll be back with one-shots on Tuesdays for the next few weeks. And you'll see us again, not in 2 weeks, but the slot after that. And everybody should be very excited because in our next Tuesday one-shot, we have Sam leading our amazing adventure!
Nice.
Yeah, summer vacation.
Summer vacation. It's going to be fantastic. Check out everything else going on Questline. We've got, in the future coming up, PC Gaming. You'll see us as LFG, looking for group. You'll also see some exciting e-casting happening on Mondays with Jason. And you can check out Filthy Lot YouTube. You can check out A Funny Lot with Cheyenne and all of our amazing friends with the comedy channel. We would love to see you back here again because it's extremely exciting to spend time with all of my friends and our crew and everybody out there. Make sure that you let me know what's going on in your games because every time you roll the dice, you make the magic happen. I'll see you soon.